We live?
We live. Hey, yo, what's good, y'all? What's good? First and foremost, before we get started, also always want to give all the glory, all the praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakwadash. And Lord will that this conversation that we're about to have is gonna be edifying. So basically what we're going into, y'all, we got the beginning of the so-called new year, this Janus Day that everyone in this society, all the masses, reverence. We all know when the real New Year is, the month of Abib, that being the spring, according to the biblical New Year. But for edification purposes in this, we're gonna use the term 2021 last year, 2022 this year. What I'm saying, to touch on and to paint the picture for the events that we're trying to, the events that we're gonna break down, go into, and give edification on from a prophetic perspective and from a present day perspective as well. So Lord, what is edifying. But before we get into it, I got my brothers D-Ben, JT, aka Hitman, and Ghetto Genius, on here again. We did a live stream probably about 8 months ago on my other channel, going into some other kind of prophetic events and whatnot. But this is gonna be more specifically focused on what to expect in 2022 and beyond. So let's go ahead and chop it up. Y'all brothers go and introduce yourselves.
All right, for sure. If y'all brothers who've been watching a lot of live streams, you already know who everybody on the panel is. Like the brother Swin said, we're just going to discuss what's going on and what we predict to happen in the year 2022. Also, just based on a lot of the signs that happened in 2021 from economic aspect. We're going to touch on the social aspect, the spiritual aspect, and just how things are going to be slowly converted from a day-to-day aspect. Of course, understanding that everything is based on the spiritual aspect. The rulers in high places are trying to slowly convert the minds and the souls of the people to worship the image of the beast. So basically everything when it comes to, like I said earlier, financially, socially, even a lot of these natural disasters that are happening, they're just ways to slowly lead the people to a certain end game. And by the time that happens, most people aren't even going to realize it. That's why it's important to have certain panels, certain discussions like this, and you have it recorded so you can look back and you kind of have like a chart of how what your thought was before, and you can compare it to how it is in the future, and you can compare certain stories that are happening like we're doing right now to what's happening in the future, so you don't get caught up in whatever narrative is happening in the moment, because that's what really fools people. If you're constantly living in the moment of whatever story is going on, then you're going to be confused. It's always important to not only focus on things that are in the past, but have certain predictions about what's to come in the future. Not saying you're going to be exactly right about what's going to happen or when it's going to happen, but trying to predict or prognosticate certain things to come is going to keep you more level-headed when those bad things happen. Because it's funny, throughout honestly, the past 2 years, a lot of people have been mocking quote unquote conspiracy theorists, like, oh, back in 2020, they're like, oh, they're not going to mandate a vaccine. What are you talking about? Oh, boost
jab, poke, serum, jab, certain things like that. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, the mixer.
Yeah. Certain
the juice.
The juice, yeah, the juice.
Yeah, certain medicines. You're right. So, go ahead. Well, y'all brothers, go ahead.
Yeah, y'all go ahead and finish introducing yourselves.
Fuck this shit.
It's a shame. It's a shame, but you know who we dealing with, bro. So
yeah,
go ahead, y'all brothers, introduce yourselves, man.
All right, I guess I'll just go. I'm saying this is JT, aka Hitman. Yeah, man. Just want to give all praise to the Most High and His only begotten Son. You know what I'm saying? Through the Holy Spirit. I just want to, I know it's more of a casual thing, but I kind of just want to open up with this, because if a lot of y'all brothers, last year, it was pretty much us, if y'all watched a lot of the Signs of the Times with all of us on there, we were, we literally spent the whole year, what I'm saying, telling y'all what's going to happen, getting y'all prepped up like a whole year, you know what I'm saying? So, now we're just kind of like, this is kind of the time where we're just looking and we're understanding in 2022 what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to get this. This is Joel chapter 2, and I'm gonna just get verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. You know what I'm saying? So 2022 and all the years down on, it's just gonna be prophecy. So I hope y'all brothers are girded up, and we just gonna get into these topics and just talk about how we feel about it, get deeper into it, and you know what I'm saying? Just kick back and watch the world burn, I guess.
Excellent point. Go ahead, bro. Ghetto.
Yeah. I want to give all praise to Yahweh about Shem Yahshai. And we continue to receive our daily bread, mental, physical, most importantly, spiritual. And through all our transgressions, may the Most High continue to be merciful towards us and give us the knowledge that we need, whether it's through just pure conversation or edifying lesson in general. It's crazy how we back again, though. It's been like 4 months since we done any lives or anything of that nature. And well, actually, no, it's been about a month or so because we did with D-Van. So, but just all of us on the channel doing these lives for 2022. I don't know how many more of these we're gonna be able to do because I still remember in the summer when they logged us all out at once. So let's see what happens.
That's what I'm saying. Who keeps slipping up? Shoot, this might be the end.
This might, I mean, hey, shoot, this is already my second channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't live stream. No, you good, bro. I can't even live stream on my main channel until March of next year. So
damn,
they coming down with the hammer on this, man. And that's what that kind of helps us segue into the first topic because that's kind of one of the main things that went down in 2021 was mass censorship. And on the web, whether it be on YouTube, Instagram, other social media platforms, they really ramped up the censorship, Facebook and whatnot, and really censor. I mean, even towards the end of the year, capping off the end of the year with taking the dislike button off of YouTube. I mean, censoring the amount of dislikes that you can see on a video off of YouTube and whatnot because of certain, and we all know why they did that. But the censorship really ramped up in 2021, and we all know why. It's because truth is getting out there. Of course, they gotta provide the blockage to that, and of course, they control it. They control the system and whatnot. So we use their systems, and the Most High has allowed us to use their system, and He put us into the world in general for the truth to get out there. But now since the truth is surfacing, more people are waking up, more people are opening their eyes, even if they're not Israelites, even if they're not in the truth per se, just waking up their eyes, or opening their eyes to truths about the world and certain things of that nature, truths about the dangers of some of the things that are coming down the pipeline, truths about these certain events that are going on and the spiritual things behind them, the ritualistic aspect of certain events that happen in society, certain potions and medicines they want us to take, certain realities that are going on about these like physical ailments that people are getting from said things. They're not reporting on mainstream news. That's why they censor anything all things truth, because they want the masses people to be dumbed down. They want you to be asleep. They don't want you to wake up, so that when they eventually start putting the shit in the hyper mode, you have nowhere to go, and all you practice is trusting in their system. All you practice is relying on them for help and safety and resilience and certain things of that nature. So when every other option is removed from you, you're no longer able to think with a sound mind. You haven't you got to practice what you want to do. You haven't practiced thinking with a sound mind. You haven't practiced putting into effect operating outside of the societal confines and whatnot. All is things that are attached to society, and that's what they want you. That's the headspace that they want you to operate in. Like I said, that way when they really come down with these the things that we're about to touch on in this live stream, when they really come down with these things, mentally you have nowhere to go, because all is them and their system. Your whole body is attached to it, and people are going to seek comfort at the end of the day. When the going gets tough, when things get hard, people don't automatically become warriors. Nah, most people seek comfort. Most people seek things that can ease their mind. They don't seek to do the hard thing. They don't seek to take the straight path. when I say straight, I mean STRAIT, the difficult path. They don't seek to take the road less traveled. They seek to take the easiest road possible. And the elites are gonna mask the death and destruction and things that are ultimately gonna kill your soul with ease of mind, comfortability, and that's how they're gonna get you. Because like JT was saying, we this whole last year we've been warning, we've been telling, we've been sounding the alarm. And you got niggas out there that still don't want to listen. They want to trust in this devil and this system. They see what's going on. They see the censorship on YouTube and other platforms, and they say, "Oh, it's because y'all are spreading lies. Oh, it's because they're trying to help us, and you're trying to deter them and deter people from seeking help from the people that actually care about us and whatnot. What are your solutions? They got actual solutions. What are your solutions? All right, keep that facade up, and you'll see who has the real solution at the end of the day when all hell breaks loose. But I want to piggyback that into asking you brothers as well. We'll go counterclockwise. So we'll go JT, then we'll go Ghetto, and then we'll go D-Ben. With 2020 in regards to 2021, what did y'all kind of what would y'all like? What was your outlook of 2021 look like based off of what actually happened and your expectations for what you thought was going to happen?
Good question. So let's see. Coming into 2021, we came in with a bang, right? It was the beginning of the year when the whole Trump thing happened, right? When they did that thing at the White House, right?
That did happen earlier in the year.
In the January. Yeah. So when that happened, boom, I'm thinking, this might be the year for the whole Civil War thing. If they're doing something like this. And just going down further, we were also looking for the the juice mandates, if you know what I'm saying. So and that definitely did happen. So that's one thing that I saw, and a lot of us brothers saw that did happen. They mandated the juice, and so yeah. But the whole Civil War thing is definitely they're not being too outright with it. They weren't being too outright with it in 2021, but they were definitely, it was a slow buildup, and you could also see in 2021 the slow buildup of Jacob's trouble, and we were talking about that as well. With all these quote unquote, black Hebrews and all those, titles. So we saw them put those narratives out there, and Esau, he'll put them out there, and then he'll visit it, when he sees it fit to bring it back up. So yeah, for 2021, a lot of the things we saw, I would say I think it was pretty fit to what I thought would happen. Maybe a little more calm, but it was definitely up there, man. A lot of important stuff happened.
Definitely 2021 really set the stage, for the upcoming years in terms of, setting the tone, putting things, still starting the process of putting things into action, but really, and more so, putting things out in the atmosphere via, media platforms, social media apps, just certain societal events that they did allow to transpire, and mostly just using their media platforms and whatnot to, kind of talk and bloviate about certain things. But I always say this: within, this society is mainly narrative driven, but the effects of those narratives are 100% real. So yeah, they pushed a lot of narratives in 2021, but we're gonna start seeing the effects of those narratives that they pushed 2022, 2023, 2024, and however long the society lasts. So that's definitely true, bro. But Ghetto, what's your reflection on 2021 based off what actually happened versus what you thought would happen? I guess he's preoccupied right now. But D-Ben, so what was your reflection on 2021 based off of what happened and what you thought would happen?
Yeah, but honestly, like JT said earlier, when it came to the juice and a lot of the mandates when it came to the juice, that's the main thing that I honestly wasn't surprised that happened in 2020, 21. The only different thing that caught me off guard is I figured we'd be a little bit further ahead. I didn't think it was going to be January of 2022 for that major event to happen. But I mean, we all know they want to string along the people over time. But I just wanted to go back to the aspect of censorship that you brought up, because that really has been a major thing in 2021. If you notice, a lot, in fact, there are a lot of truth content creators on YouTube who aren't really on there as much.
Yeah.
And if you brothers actually do a lot of research and look up certain things, there'll be certain articles, to be honest, I can't even find anymore. Like I remember the other day, I was looking up, y'all brothers ever heard the term chimerism?
You said chimerism?
Yeah, chimerism. It's like the basically the concept that whenever a woman.
Oh, you mean microchimerism?
Microchimerism.
Yeah,
thank you. I always forget that term. Basically, it's a concept that whenever a woman has a sex with a man, a part of that man DNA stays within the woman's system. I remember there was a specific article that I used to read about it because I wanted to show my cousin. I couldn't find it for the life of me. I was like, well, what happened? Because normally when I search it, it's the first thing to pop up. Or even when I was doing the one video that I did about King James on my channel, I was looking up specific information about, in the Old Testament, there's the forefather Abraham, Heber, right?
Yeah.
And how the definition of his name means like one who crosses over the river. I was going to use that as an example in my video just to demonstrate where the word Iberia comes from. But when I looked it up in the Blue Letter Bible, it doesn't give that definition anymore. Like it gives a completely useless definition. I think it just says Eber, like forefather to Abraham. I'm like, what? Where's the definition of the word? So like there's just little things like that. And I'm not even sure if you notice, sometimes depending on how strong your comment is, your comment might be deleted. You might post a comment on a YouTube video on some other platform, and you might notice, wait, didn't I post something? What the fuck? Where'd I post when?
Yeah.
Because they deleted your post. So a lot of things have been going on when it comes to censorship. That's another key aspect that's been happening in 2021. And honestly, I think it's going to ratchet up in 2022 because YouTube has a new terms and agreement.
Yeah, they do.
So we know that's going to be ratcheted up, which is, I think it will encourage a lot of brothers to go to other third-party platforms, like specifically BitChute or Patreon, things like that. But even Patreon is being limited to a certain degree.
You used to be able to go ham on Patreon. You can't even do that no more.
No, no, those days are over, man. But the other aspect that happened a lot during 2021 was honestly a lot of the crazy weather events when it was like, all those basically firestorms in California. I think this year might have been the largest when it came to fires in California. I'm not sure if that's actually true or if that's just hyped up. I'd have to do more additional research on that because, to be honest, I kind of left that narrative alone after a while. And then we also had, wasn't it in February where there was that huge snowstorm in Texas, knocked out all the power grids?
January, February, yep.
Yeah, and then obviously the destruction that happened, was it in Kentucky or was it in Tennessee?
It was in Kentucky that had the tornadoes that just happened recently.
Yeah, exactly. I remember even JT always used to mention, he's like, hey, do you find it funny? It destroyed those Caucasian communities in Kentucky. They kind of left everybody else alone.
Yep.
He's just like, that's judgment.
Exactly. And that's not even, that's just touching the surface in America, but even they also had, there was there was like a mini Katrina in New Orleans this year as well. Y'all remember that?
Actually, I don't.
There was it was around the time, it was because I remember me and Kim were joking about it when we were driving down to Dallas, because coming from Atlanta, you got to go through parts of Alabama and parts of Mississippi. We went down once we got outside of Birmingham, Alabama. You get into Mississippi, you start seeing signs from the cities of Mississippi. See Jackson. Then you get into Louisiana, you start seeing cities, signs to head to Baton Rouge or New Orleans or Shreveport. And to get to Dallas, you had to go through Shreveport, but they gave us a sign to go to New Orleans too. And me and Kent were joking around like, we ain't trying to go through New Orleans right now, nigga. Might get caught up in that damn mini Katrina they got going on right there. So that was around September when we went to Dallas. So I remember it was a narrative they was pushing. I mean, it was an actual event. Don't get it twisted. But it went down. It was like a slight, mini, like, kind of, because of the what was that Katrina happened? What was that, 2012 that Katrina happened? Katrina went down?
Katrina?
Yeah, 2006. I mean,
Yeah, it was 06, I believe.
yes, I meant 2000. I
We was kids, huh? I was a kid when
multiply
that
that
shit
by two.
happened.
Yeah, 06. That was 06 when that went down. So, still, I mean, whenever you see, people down there, whenever you hear about some kind of crazy, weather storm that's about to hit that area, of course, that raised people's eyebrows and whatnot. So, but they, has since built the city, to be prepared for, with the proper infrastructure to be prepared for certain events of that nature. So, of course, it didn't go down, as detrimentally as before. But still, that was going on in 2021 as well. I mean, you had it in a variety of different places. You had the and that's just touching the surface of Babylon. But you had hailstorm. You had the hailstorms that went down in Mexico. You had the floods that went down in Germany. The floods in Indonesia. The volcanic eruptions on the west coast as well. So a lot of crazy weather patterns and plagues, came from the Lord in 2021. But that actually, goes to segue into the next, topic. It's funny because that happened in 2021, and we were touching on the fact that 2021 kind of set the tone, for you know the rest of the decade. Kind of what's going to go down. You know, in terms of some of the noise that went on, some of the talking points that the media were making, some of the slight events that would happen. Of course, it wasn't on a big catastrophic, world judgment type setting yet, but we're starting to see inklings of that happen. So you got people out there who are thinking, 2022, year of prosper and jubilee. We're gonna set the tone right for the year and whatnot. And the Most High just getting started out here, man.
That's what I'm telling you. That judgment's only just begun, man. And it's crazy that you mentioned the wildfires because y'all forget it didn't even just happen in the U.S. It was in parts of Europe too. Like it was like Italy, parts of Greece, I think parts of Portugal, other areas where there was intense wildfires throughout the summer and flooding. So it's just letting you know that judgment is coming, and these are just small signs.
Exactly, and earthquakes in diverse places, as said in Matthew the 24th chapter. That whole chapter going into basically signs of the times. And we're starting to see those inklings of those things happen more and more frequently. It seems like every week now we got, wildfire in California, earthquake in Seattle, a damn tornado in damn Oklahoma. Every week. And what's crazy? It's the typical places ain't really getting hit like that. When's the last time we heard about a hurricane in Miami or Fort Lauderdale or some shit like that? We be hearing about that every year, bro. JT, you got experience with that. Go ahead and share some of that, bro.
I was really surprised. Like, I'm like, why isn't Florida getting hit with some kind of flood or something, bro? Like, we've been having it a little too easy for my liking. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been weird. We have little hurricanes and stuff like that, but nothing as bad as what Middle America is getting right now, man. Like, they're going through it.
And just real quick as well, shout out to the brother J2K. Our brother J2K came through. Hey, Shalom, bro. Appreciate you coming through as always, man. Very, very solid brother right here. Excellent photographer as well. So the water for coming through, bro. And shout out to the brother Randy, always supporting, bro. The bro Randy always coming through and supporting. So appreciate you as well, bro, for coming through. Hey, shalom to you as well.
Con.
For real.
But yeah, JT, the places that normally get hit with certain events ain't really getting hit like that. Now we did see Haiti get hit with a little, what was it, earthquake that they got this year?
Yeah, another earthquake.
Yeah, it was an earthquake that Haiti got this year, but I mean, what's new there? But
that's what I'm saying. They stay getting beat up, bro.
I mean, the Most High trying to wake them people up out there, man. Get out of that Mansamusu, get out of that voodoo shit, man.
Nah, they gonna die. They gonna die with that shit, bro. Haiti. They say 2/3. That whole nation just might be 2/3. They in too deep, man.
Too deep into that witchcraft out there. But yeah, the weather and the plagues via the weather is just getting started. Most High is really just warming up out here. We see what's the recent one that went down. That's going down right now. JT, you was talking about before we started.
What do you mean? The Colorado thing?
Yeah, Colorado. Yeah. Touch on that,
Yeah.
bro.
So wow, it's actually really crazy. You guys can look up videos right now. There's like another wildfire in Colorado, right? So what happened is like, I guess, and it's cold as hell too. So I guess there was they say there were these strong winds, and these winds were just blowing and blowing and blowing, and I guess it was dry. So they said, I guess, like the winds were so strong that the power lines they must have cut off, and then that's what started the fire. And then when the fire started burning, the winds just kept going stronger and stronger. And I put a video in a group chat, and you could see like the fire, like there, you know how they have like when you're out in the open field and you have them fences, them picketed fences. Um, the fire would just like completely destroy them, like leave nothing there. And like the houses, and the dude was saying like people thought they would have hours to gather their stuff and leave to pack up. Dude was like, no, your house would be burning in a matter of seconds. It was that fast. Like the wind is what really like made that fire start blowing like that. And you know, it was just crazy when you look at it. It looked like Armageddon out there for real, man. Like it was really bad. And what really got me was like he was saying like people thought they had time, and it goes back to the scripture. I can't remember exactly what it is, but you know, it was like, you know, you won't have time to go back inside the house to get what you want. I can't remember what
Are
I
you
said.
talking about in terms of like Sodom and Gomorrah, or?
No, it was like when the day comes, uh if you don't have what you have, you can't go back and get it. You just gotta go type shit. But it reminded me of that. Like people thought they had time to just leave and pack up. No, when that fire was there, it was burning things down in seconds. So
This might be the precept that you're going into. It may not. It's kind of touching on it, but you know it's good to bring out anyway. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16, and verse 41. Actually, I'm gonna start at 39. Even so shall the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. I mean, slack. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise as he that hath no profit by it. He that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as he should not reap. Also he that planted the vineyard as he shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers, and therefore they that labor in vain. I don't think that's exactly what you were talking about, but that's a
that
good
was
one
a
to bring out
good
as
point.
well.
But I found the scripture too. But that
Bring it
was a
out.
good way to to combine it. This is Mark chapter 13, verse 15. And let him that is on the housetop not go down into the house, neither enter therein to take anything out of his house. And that is the scripture I was thinking of when he said that, like, people thought they had hours to pack their stuff up. No, you had to dip right away. There was no going back. There was no, you know, trying to get this. No, you had to leave with what you had, and you had to dip. You couldn't look back. That's how fast it was burning. So, and I wanted to bring that out too, because you know, it's 2022. A lot of people come into the year when a new year starts, everybody's all jovial and they're happy. And it's like, nah, man, like this is a reminder to me from the Most High. Like, nope, it's not done yet. Judgment is still happening. I'm still on your ass. You know what I'm saying? It's a new year. I'm still on your ass. You feel me?
Facts.
So I ain't done whooping you yet, boy.
Hey,
Exactly.
let me get this out now that since you mentioned that. This is Second Ezra chapter 16, and verse number 14. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward. Even so shall the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days. Like JT was saying, the Most High ain't done. The Most High just getting started right here, boy.
That's what I'm saying,
man.
It ain't gonna be over until the trumpet blows.
Exactly, bro.
And
Exactly.
actually, shoot, it still ain't gonna be over when the trumpet blows.
Yeah, that's just the next phase of getting started right there.
Yeah, you got
You
a
know?
1,000 years coming your way, man.
Real talk. And like y'all mentioned earlier, the Most High is really tearing up these places with a lot of these Edomites. I know D-Ben and JT, y'all were mentioned the point of that earlier on. You know, D-Ben kind of go into that a little bit, how, you know, especially, you know, since you with your experience, you know, in the Christian church and whatnot, and, you know, knowing some of these Edomite conservative Christians and whatnot who think that, you know, God loves them and Jesus came to save them and whatnot, you know, kind of paint the picture about, you know, what could be going on, you know, what the Most High is doing, you know, to that nation of people, you know, in terms of, you know, him showing his face, you know, to who he really is, his son really came for, who he really is the God of, and the destruction that he's going to bring upon, you know, the most wicked nation of all time.
Well, honestly, for the fact that they've really had a monopoly and control over the scriptures, honestly, since the mid to late 1800s to today, when it comes to a lot of the things that are happening, like you know, the charagma and a lot of these mandates that are coming upon the people, there are many who are folding up, and you know, some people are convincing themselves that, oh, you know, the Lord, the Lord is allowing this to happen. The Lord, you know, if we really trust in the Lord, we'll trust the government and take the juice. But there are many. I'm sorry, I just got to really work through my words right now.
You
But
good, you good.
there are others who are honestly who are just as ardent against the charagma as we are, who understand what the MOB is about just through their not a high level understanding of the scriptures, but a low level understanding. Because you know, even you don't have to be a part of a camp to understand what the jab is about. You know what the concept of the jab being the microchip. But you know, most people do understand that to a certain degree. So honestly, I think another aspect of 2022 is going to be used basically to demonize people with a religious mindset in general, because it's really religion, specifically the scriptures, that is really combating against a lot of the mandates that are happening in the society. Because to be honest, if the scriptures went around, all of us would have taken the juice. All of us would have taken the MOB. We wouldn't have thought anything of it. But then we read the scriptures in Revelations, and it tells you that those who take the MOB are going to be cast in the lake of fire forever and ever. Not even brothers who are in the knowledge read scriptures like that. Many Christians do as well, so they understand that to a degree. However, since the Most High has put a strong delusion on them, they're going to be 10 toes down when it comes to the Bible. Like, you don't realize when that time comes, of course, we know the average person is going to fold up, but a lot of these middle American conservative Christians, they're going to double down. They're going to be willing to fight. And then when shit really hits the fan, they're going to be really upset when they realize that all their fighting was essentially in vain because the promises aren't meant for them. So that's going to be a real blow to their ego. But I mean, hey, man, that's part of your judgment. That's what you get for stealing other people's shit and trying to claim like it's yours. You think you're going to get the same reward just because you took the image of the people and try to mask yourself as them? But really, they bastardize the image when it comes to the scriptures. They bastardize the image of the Most High in Christ. But you know, they put people under such a spell that essentially everybody can keep walking in delusion. But at the end of the day, this is just my perspective. They're really just going to be essentially lambs for the slaughter. And I think JT, you always allude to this all the time when we be talking how let the pawns go first.
Yep.
I know we talk about how a lot of these brothers in these camps who are super fervent, they gonna go out and march and be militant when that time comes. A lot of these Christians as well, when that time comes and the mandates are really heavy, they're gonna be out on the streets talking about, you can't take away my God-given rights. You can't take away my freedom. I'm going to fight for my freedom, fight for liberty, and for what I believe in. Not understanding that, look, man, the freedoms you thought you had, they never existed.
Gone.
Esau just tired of playing games. He's like, you know what? You on timeout now. It's like this wicked government is really like a parent that basically enables their child and allows the child to do whatever they want. And then one day they're like, you know what? Let me just stop pretending and let this kid know what's really going on. All right, go to your give me your toys. I'm breaking your TV. Your Xbox is going in the trash. All the little things that when you have as a child that makes you feel comfortable and free. When your parent is done playing games with you, they're gonna take it away from you, and it's gonna be the same with Esau. So they'll be like, you know what? All these Christianity, all these religions that we letting you practice in freedom, we taking that shit away. All those freedoms you think you have, they ain't gonna be anymore unless you do what I say. You got to take the juice. In fact, you got to take the second juice, the triple juice, quadruple juice. How many juices you got to take until I say we good? And then don't even get me started. For a lot of you brothers who don't know about this, look it up. It's a John Hopkins study called the SARS pandemic. They got shit planned for 2025. I'll leave it at that.
That's a whole nother one to tap into, going into that on a deeper level. But go ahead, Hitman.
I was just gonna say, when it comes to the whole, the charagma thing, right? There's gonna be something called a universal income, and just to show you the scale of how many people are gonna take that charagma. You got people out here that can't eat. So once if everyone can get a universal income, and you're telling me you were starving before, you lived in a hut somewhere in East Africa or something. You're telling me all I gotta do is take this and I could just eat and live happily. Like, come on, it's gonna happen, bro. They're gonna take that.
Absolutely. See, the thing about it is, just to touch on both of y'all points in regards to that, the elite, they prey on they act as predators in a variety of different ways. But one of the main ways they prey on the people is they give you. It's like they dangle a carrot over your head. They give you access to certain things. They strip it from you, but in the midst of them stripping it from you, they dangle, the solution on top of it as well. Like, okay, this is what you could get, and they market it as a better option for you. Meanwhile, they were the ones that caused your destruction. They market and they market at the meantime they're marketing their solution to you. They've masked it as this is a better option for you, but deep down, it's really meant to pierce you. It's really meant to take your soul. It's really meant to destroy whatever spirit you got left. You know what I'm saying? It's not really meant for anything a purpose with people. It's all meant to get them control over their society. And you know what's funny? You notice when you watch any of these dystopian society movies or these kind of futuristic sci-fi type movies or whatnot, they never have a concept of a higher level spiritual power. And it's like a very futuristic type society where the concept of spiritual power, a high level spiritual power, is completely removed from society. Everybody is dependent. Now you have classes of people, but everybody in some way, shape, or form is dependent on the government structure for their means of survival. You know what I'm saying?
And the technology. And the closest thing to a higher power is these ugly ass aliens that they show you.
Exactly.
And we know who that is, right?
Exactly. That whole concept is removed from society. It's all people basically are worshiping the so-called technological advancements of that said futuristic society, and whatnot, and the people that govern it and run it as well, especially the lower class people. They got pretty much dangling on a carrot an idea of you being able to ascend to a higher level, but it all is under the confines of submitting yourself to 100% to their system and them controlling you through their system via certain implants and whatnot, via certain marks that they're going to put inside people and whatnot. And that's the same thing they're going to do in this society. Like D-Ben was mentioning earlier on with these Christians and whatnot, and just anyone in general. When all hell starts to break loose and shit really starts to hit the fan, when societal living, becomes, obsolete, where you can't just live how you normally would live. You're not gonna be able to go to work and come home and sleep in a nice warm bed and have a nice cup of cocoa and whatever the fuck before you go to sleep. It ain't gonna be nothing like that, man. You know, it's going to be like that's going to be obsolete in the current society that we headed into. First and foremost, ain't even going to be no going to work because your work going to be on a damn metaverse. But we gonna get into that, you know. But the way that the society is going and whatnot, it's like they're stripping, you know, normality and the concept of, you know, normal freedoms and whatnot from people over time, you know, gradually and whatnot through getting you indoctrinated to certain premises, to certain beliefs, to certain mandates and jurisdictions and whatnot. You know, they're slowly stripping the people of the concept of individual thinking, of the concept of freedom, of personal liberties and freedoms and whatnot. And they're convincing the people that that's the best way for society to go forward. Kamala Harris came out a while back, and she said something along the lines of, I can't remember the exact quote she used, but she said something along the lines of how everyone doesn't deserve to like liberties and freedoms and whatnot. You know, and they'll say little fraudulent slips here and there because they're telling you exactly what they think about us in general, the masses at whole. There's a big gap, a big disparity between the elites of this society and the masses of this society. And every now and then they'll tell you what they really think about you. Now they give you the facade that they care about you, that they love you, they want to see the world prosper in health and safety. And then in the midst of them telling you and programming your mind into that wavelength of thinking, they give you the solution accompanied with those words that they say. So that solution, can mark you into their system, and then they give you the outcome, the eventual outcome. Then the eventual outcome that they want comes to fruition and whatnot. And that outcome is going to be complete submission and control. And people don't even realize you've willingly relinquished those personal liberties and freedoms, or so-called personal liberties and freedoms that you've had, over to them by ingratiating yourself over and over a time with their Marxist and communist,
socialist, Luciferian, all these terms,
all these philosophies. Exactly. Over time, you've willingly relinquished yourself over to them via, you know, hearkening on and embracing those philosophies that they also embed you with as well. So, but a lot of people don't even realize that, and a lot of people that, you know, are caught up in that is these Christians, you know, either Jake Christians or these Edomite Christians. But you know what? The Most High is tearing through Middle America right now. So some of them, they ain't even gonna make it to that point where they see the eventual outcome, because they gonna get taken out by whatever storm they got coming through Oklahoma and damn Kentucky and Kansas City and, you know, Wyoming and all that shit. You know, Most High is gonna tear through that place, you know, with various different plagues. So a lot of them not even gonna be able to see, you know, the other side of this thing. You know, not saying it's a great thing, but I'm just saying, you know, if the eventual outcome that the elites want, a lot of these conservative Caucasians and whatnot are not even gonna get to that point because of the plagues the Most High is bringing, the judgment. That's not going away no time soon. The Most High is just starting up with that, and it's not even. You know, it's not, dare I even say, it's not even that bad yet.
I was just thinking of that I seen some clips of that movie San Andreas, and I'm just thinking, like, I wonder if niggas think they gonna be safe because they got a helicopter, man.
Hey, I mean, like it says in the scriptures, you know, they're gonna be in the cleft of the rocks. They're gonna try to cover themselves in the caves, man, and that ain't gonna save them. But I just wanted to address a point, Swint, that you made earlier about how people are slowly getting fattened up and walked into the destruction. And honestly, I want to just go back to 2020, and I think this is something that we can all relate to. When those Black Lives Matters, when those rallies and protests were happening, and how fervent, no disrespect, a lot of low-level thinking niggas and black women were during those protests. They were so fired up. At that point, you couldn't tell a nigga that Trump wasn't the devil. They were convinced that he was evil. But it just shows you how he's so thorough when it comes to their media manipulation. Because all the way back in 2016, when Trump first got elected, you know, they're constantly hammering the fact that he's racist, he's this, he's that, but he's racist, he's racist. You know why they focus on that one term, racist? So by the time when 22 happens and that Derek Chauvin issue happened, people are trying to link it up to Trump. But it's like, what's Trump got to do with it? It's like people really don't have an understanding of how the society and the government structure work. The president doesn't control what the courts do on that level, or what police protocol is, but people were mad as hell at Trump because of certain statements he said when they start looting, we start shooting, which I mean is true, but he ain't got to. The thing with a lot of niggas is because we tend to be so emotional. If someone says something, says the truth without, caring about how we feel, that's how niggas get up in arms. Because if you were to tell a lot of people that what he said was true, he's like, oh, well, he didn't have to say it like that. You know what I'm saying? That's normally the next excuse a person say. He didn't have to say it like that. Why couldn't he say it like da 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 da? But when you just look back at that whole event and how up in arms Negroes were, they were ready to fight and protest and on the street. They're like, this is the time we're going to change America. We're going to change this. All the other times when we were marching and protesting, that doesn't matter. But this time, this one time, it's going to work somehow. And we're going to vote Trump out of office. And we need to get rid of Trump. And Biden's going to make some things so much better. I know so many people who got caught up in that narrative, even some of my close family members who got caught up in the narrative. And I was shocked.
Definitely.
I'm like, y'all falling for this? Y'all really vote for a nigga who said, if you don't vote for me, you're black. I'm sorry. Him to say that, and you as a black person vote for him, you're a fucking idiot. No disrespect. You let an old ass white dude say, if you aren't voting for me, you're not black. Fuck you. I'm not voting for you. Fuck you. And any of y'all niggas done research on old racist Joe?
With them,
I don't want my daughters going to the same school with them niggers.
Yep.
All of a sudden he's down with the team now. And you know what's funny? If you ask a lot of those Negroes now that all the hype died down and they've calmed down, hey man, what happened about Joe Biden? Man, no, nigga, man, I don't like Joe Biden anyway, nigga. Man, I ain't like Joe Biden like that anyway. Man, Joe Biden sucks, nigga. Damn. But all in 2020, you were hyped up, thinking Joe Biden was going to be the savior. Joe Biden was going to change America. Joe Biden was finally going to make life better for black people. All that stupid shit that niggas get caught up with every election cycle. And for y'all brothers to think Black Lives Matter, that shit is done. It's done for now. Just wait till 2024. That shit will be back.
And a lot of the reasons too why they were so hyped up, they just came off that juice lockdown. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to say that prior juice lockdown, the juice wasn't even on the scene yet.
Oh, what with the first? Okay.
This was in 2020.
It was the vid.
Oh, 2020. We had 2020 in the middle. That's when they started locking things down, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like in the beginning of the year, like around March.
They started March, and then like they let people go during the summer, and then during the summer, that's when the riots happened. That's when people were going buck wild. But that whole event really opened my spirit to how foolish a lot of people were. And I remember I always just tell my mom this. I was like, Ma, you know why people are out protesting who are my age, talking about they want to fight police brutality on there? Because I was like, because the bars don't open till like 7 o'clock. They ain't got shit to do in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only so much weed you can smoke before your brain dead. You got to do something. That's the thing with a lot of these people. And it amazes me too, because I remember I was speaking at the time. I was speaking with a lot of older Jakes, and they would mention to me how they'd be like, oh man, David, I think your generation is finally starting to get it. You know, y'all are coming together and y'all are marching and protesting in this way, and y'all are really trying to change the minds of the people. And in my mind, I was like, damn, no offense to this older brother, but like, where's he been? Because I wasn't alive during the 60s with all those hippie movements. Wasn't the same type of energy being promoted then? And look where we are now. So it's just showing me how literally history repeats itself. And when you understand how things were in the past and you see how things portray now, it's no different, man. Like the same liberal movements that are happening today were happening in the past as well. It's just today they're more honestly insane. They're more overt. They're more chaotic. But the spirit and the energy has not changed at all.
And the emotionalism that's attached to these events that go on is more energy sucking and more energy draining now. Like the covert images that you'll see and the certain imagery that they'll place, on the mainstream media, on platforms, and that seeps into your mind. It creates it emits a certain emotional response from you, And that's exactly what they want, because when you get someone emotional, when you get someone not thinking with sound logic and reasoning, that's when they're a prime energy sucking target. Then you can program their mind, because they're so emotionally based thinking, and they're thinking with their feelings. If what you're saying and the program that you're programming that you're trying to bring sounds appealing to a person's emotions based off of the current societal circumstances, then you can get them to basically be a controlled subject for whatever societal reform or premise you're trying to bring into effect. And you saw that happen with Biden in 2020, because what did he run on a campaign of? Build back better, based off of the current events that were going on, in terms of societal, with the V lockdowns, with the racial tension and whatnot, with the George Floyd and all that, the bullshit, that ritual that went on with that. He ran on a platform, and also the economy as well. He ran on a platform of quote unquote build back better. What does that sound exactly like? New world order. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people in 2020, all they did was, that was just one, especially with the George Floyd shit, for a lot of black people, that was one big energy draining, energy sucking ritual to get people to spiritually connect themselves to and line themselves up with accepting some of the tenets of the new world order. Now you got a lot of Jakes out there who are first in line to do what? Go get that juice, to go get that serum, because they've lined themselves up with everything associated with Biden. They've lined themselves up with everything associated with health and safety and whatnot. They're not thinking logically, because around that same time of the year, what do they also use? They use a lot of fear programming and fear porn, and not logic sound thinking in regards to the vid and whatnot. So now you got people all in their emotions on multiple different fronts, from the racial aspect of things, from the societal aspect of things, from the economic aspect of things, and from the quote unquote health and safety aspect of things. And I'd argue the health and safety and the racial ones were the two main ones they used on black people to get us in a state of non-sound thinking, heavy emotionalism, just and basically to submit yourself to whatever solution that they got coming for you, because it's going to be a better alternative to your current state, because they've programmed you to think that your current state is so bad, even though you never got ultimately sick, you never died, you don't know someone that died from this shit, you don't see people just dying outright in everyday life, but they program you to think that that you're in a damn war zone. Now we are in a spiritual war zone, but they program to think that you're in some kind of health war zone where people sneeze and you turn fucking green. You know what I'm saying? That's what they program majority of black people to think. So now they've since they program you to think that way, and because your emotions were on such an edge because of the certain events that were going on with the George Floyd shit, and synchronized with the vid that was the hype of the vid that was going on around that time period, heavy emotionalism they wanted to emit from so-called black people, so that way you're a prime target to submit yourself to, like I said, whatever reform or whatever so-called reform or solution they had down the line for you. And you've seen black people have fallen right along, or so-called black people have fallen right, and Israelites in general have fallen right along with that timeline by being one of the first people in line to go get that damn serum, that damn solution. The main people I see with masks in public is black women. I can't even lie.
You know what? That's the spirit. That's the spirit. I was just about to say, the so-called black woman is feeling herself right now. She's on top of the world right now, man. You can't tell her she's not a god, man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these things that are going on in the so-called black communities, they're the forefronts of it. They're the main reasons why this is being allowed. You know what I'm saying? Because they got so much power, they can do whatever the hell they want to, and you can't tell them otherwise. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy to me that it really scares me, actually, because it's like, how can you be so delusional? You know what I'm saying? Like, you really believe that you're the front runner in this. You really believe that you're the reason all this is happening. No, man, someone's boosting you up, man. You got a charger in your back. You know what I'm saying? And you can't tell. Like, you really believe that you have the power because you're a goddess or whatever, to tell a man to do something and he can do it. No, man. Once things start to go chaotic like that, it's a wrap for you. And you don't even see it. You don't even know. But
it is what it is, man. It's like I like how Judah said it. Everybody's being fattened up for the slaughter. And I'm guilty of this also. You see a lot of the wicked. How they get rewarded, and how they just it's like they living life without a care in the world. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, you over here, you're thinking about all the stuff we talked about. You're thinking about the coming judgment, and these dudes just out here living their best lives, doing whatever to anybody without a care in the world. But they all being fattened up for the slaughter, because I guarantee you, when that judgment comes, and this goes to all you brothers, when that judgment day comes, bro, and people and these fires are actually like crazy fires on a city scale or a state scale, or earthquakes start happening, you gonna be happy that you decided to stick with the Most High, man. So just keep pushing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I want to read a quick precept, just to touch on those points. Before I do that, shout out to the brother Obina. Obina came through. Shalom, bro. Peace to you, man. The water for coming through and us and supporting, bro. He said, the difference between Biden and Trump is the difference between a blatant and covert race. Absolutely. But most Jakes unfortunately don't have the foresight and to be able to see something like that. Jakes in general lack foresight in a variety of different ways: spiritual foresight, economic foresight, physical foresight, societal foresight. And honestly, the spirit of foresight is something that we really need in these last days to be able to maintain stability, peace of mind, to not be thrown off, not be surprised. We got to have the mindset. We got to have the foresight and the mindset. When anything goes down, we can be able to say, I ain't really surprised by that. You don't want to have a mentality where the rituals and the events, the staged events, the crisis, the amount of crisis actors they bring out, or anything, any whim that this devil brings out in these last days. Any of his so-called medical miracles or anything. You got to have the foresight to not be phased or thrown off by any of that shit. You look at it, you say, you shrug it off your shoulder. It ain't that big of a deal to you, because that's what's going to keep you, like JT was mentioning, rooted in the Most High. That's what's going to keep you rooted in where your real salvation lies in. You're not thrown off by some kind of medical miracle they bring to the table. Maybe you got some kind of ailment, and that they could prey on you in that way. But you're so surprised by what I'm able to do, or take my incision, and I can do this with you as well. Elon Musk, he running his human trials in 2022. That's one of the main things he's talking about with the Neuralink, is being able to cure people of Alzheimer's, cure people with all kinds of spinal deformities that they may have, cure people with all kind of sicknesses and brain disease and dementia and everything. That's how they're trying to mask it, of course. Now we all know what it really represents, but we're gonna get into that. But that's one of the ways in which they're trying to mask it. But if you have spiritual foresight, then you're able to see, you're able to recognize, what, I knew that this was coming down the pipeline. I'm not gonna be thrown off by anything they bring to the table, because I know what real salvation is. I know who these people are via having the spiritual foresight to see and lining it up with the scriptures to see what these things are they're trying to bring to the table. It looks pretty on the outside, but the solution looks pretty on the outside. But what it really is a tool to that is a tool to assist in the dissemination of my soul, dissemination of my spirit, and take me away from my Creator. You have to have the spiritual foresight to be able to see those things. And this brother Fantian said, without the TV, we wouldn't know what's going on. I don't know what you're trying to get at with that, but okay. But
I'm assuming maybe does he mean in terms of the Jew shit? Maybe.
I mean, bro, the TV is honestly used as a more of a mind controlled tool than anything, bro. I mean, I get what you're saying in terms of the TV. A lot of people don't even watch TV no more. But in terms of the TV, a lot of older Jakes, they watch, those your CNN, your Fox News, a lot of older people in general.
Hey man, television programming, man. That's all I gotta say.
Exactly, bro. Television program. That's exactly what it is. So, of course, maybe you could say you wouldn't know what's going on from a two-dimensional perspective, from a mainstream media propaganda distraction perspective, yeah. But in terms of understanding what's really going on within the real world, you don't need the TV for that shit at all. To be honest with you,
That's what I'm saying. With social media and Google and YouTube, you can look up, and honestly, any article, any type of story is literally you just pick up your phone, you look it up now.
exactly. But this is that precept though. This is Sirach 21:2. It says, "Flee from sin as from the face of a serpent, for if thou comest too near it, it will bite thee. The teeth thereof are the teeth, or as the teeth of a lion, slaying the souls of men." So who's that serpent in this modern day time period, man? It's Esau. The face of the people that run this world, and the puppets that the higher ranking Zionists, the higher ranking Edomites use to control the pawns, which are the masses of this world, through the different forms of control, programming, propaganda, ritualistic events that they use to emit an emotional tirade, to emit an emotional response. It's going to trap your energy into being connected with their system. That's all being that's all used to get Jake bit by the serpent. And as we were mentioning earlier, with a lot of Jakes, they were bit with that serpent in 2020 with those huge Black Lives Matter ritualistic events. And that shit didn't go away. Now, in terms of the money that was given to Black Lives Matter, that shit went away. I don't know where that shit went, but
got some mansions in Calabasas, nigga. That's what that shit went to.
Exactly. Right. But all these events and whatnot are really just used to ingratiate people and to bring people further into their pit, honestly. And one of the things they're going to use as well, is this, going into 2022 and beyond, is the technology sphere. We touched on the social aspect of things in the judgment and whatnot, but even from a technological aspect as well, they're definitely going, especially with the way the world works right now, being pretty much on the verge of being 100% digital. Technology is really one of the main things they're going to use to indoctrinate people and to get people wrapped up in their plan and their games. And one of the things they're going to be using is Web 3.0, is Metaverse, virtual reality, AI, certain things like that. So, D-Ben, go ahead and touch on like Web 3.0 and how you see that being a tool that the elites use, in 2022 and beyond to connect people, spiritually to this system.
Oh no, and it's actually great that you brought it up, because I was itching to get to this topic, because that's the main thing. That's what's going to happen in 2022, aka the year of 6. But we'll talk about that later. For any of y'all brothers aware of the concept of NFTs?
Yeah.
Non-fungible token.
Exactly. This shit is so ridiculous. Like, I don't know. Me personally, I'm not interested in it, but I might need to get into it just to make a little bit of money. But literally, with that, with Bitcoin, with the Metaverse, they're literally I think the year of 2022 especially is going to convince people to give up on actually having success in real life, on actually being able to accumulate wealth and resources in real life, and focus on the digital. I mean, literally, NFTs are basically digital assets.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially like a painting. Like, normally people would buy collector's paintings, or people would buy signed sneakers by Michael Jordan and keep that shit for a year and make money off that shit. Now they're making all that shit digital, bro.
Right.
Soon you're gonna be able to buy NFT land.
I think they actually came out with the first digital NFT shoe. I think it was a Kyle Kuzma.
For Nike. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But go ahead.
No, continue. And even Steph Curry. I'm trying to remember. I think he released some NFT artwork as well.
Everybody that's famous, they come out with some NFTs.
Exactly. So it just shows you the fact that artists are pushing this shit honestly this quickly, because people didn't hop on the Bitcoin train like this. But NFT, people are really hopping on it late 2021. And we already know in 2022 it's only going to expand. Not saying that you brothers shouldn't take advantage of the money-making system, but it's one of those things, you dip in, you dip out. You can't get fully plugged into things like NFT and even Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, what's more important is owning actual physical resources, meaning what? Gold, land, things along those lines that you can physically, tangibly hold. Even honestly, even the paper cash, that's still something more tangible than the crypto shit. not
CBDCs,
not
man.
saying exactly, not saying that these aren't going to be useful tools, but we can't get our heart and spirit completely invested in it, or we're just going to be more susceptible to when they ratchet it up and the MOB or the Karagma's on the scene. They'll be like, hey man, in order to continue to use these digital currencies, these digital platforms, you're going to have to be chipped up. But we know that honestly, that's what the end game is going to be for a lot of you brothers who don't understand. That's why they're slowly moving things to digital. I'm sure a lot of you brothers notice there'll be certain stores like, card only. You go to certain restaurants, card only. A lot of places now they do Apple Pay, the delivery where you just put in your information on the phone. They're trying to get people slowly off they're trying to get people slowly weaned off using actual physical assets to exchange for exchange, whether it be for goods, services, or goods, services, like anything that people use. They want everything to be transitioned to the digital, because when everything's digital, everything can be tracked. There's not really going to be a black market. There's not things you can get away with. And when everything can be tracked, everything can be taxed. Literally,
Blockchain technology.
yeah, blockchain don't go away, bro.
Yeah, Web3 is literally blockchain internet. That's literally what that is.
Exactly. And then they're also going to incorporate with the blockchain technology. There's also when they implement the I can't remember the term, the best way to describe it, but basically the best way to say it is a global security network when it comes to verification. And we're already starting to see it now with the juice passports, but they're going to transition that. After a while, there's going to be one centralized number, meaning what? You're going to have this one centralized number that's going to have your social, your medical records, your dental records, all the comments you made on YouTube, all your financial history, bro. Because the system they have now, honestly, it's good, but it's not perfect. There's still ways you can wiggle around it. Like, I'll use myself for an example. I made a call to Experian, one of the credit unions, because I was worried that there would be, that potentially my social security number, was leaked, and I was worried that somebody could use it, to like create a loan or a bank account. And I reached out to them. I gave them my name, my address, and they're like, "Oh, well, sir, we're not able to completely verify you in the system. So what we need you to do is send us some documents. So like send us like a bank note or a bank statement or a letter with more information about you, and then we can get this change done." And in my mind, I was like, so they ain't got me in the system. So I asked the lady real quick. So I was like, if I was able to pass this verification, if somebody tried to use my social security number, would they fail it too? And she was like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, big bet. I'm not giving you information on me. If I'm out the system, good. I'm not making it easier. But like when that time comes and everything is digital, there's no way of not being in the system. Because even how things are now, even though things are digital, there's still a paper trail. And if the digital and the paper trail don't match, sometimes things get lost. So there's a lot of you brothers, especially with niggas, a lot of us are in the system completely because, a lot of us, let's just say our parents are a little sloppy when it comes to putting in paperwork, man.
Yeah, definitely. But in regards to everything that D-Ben mentioned, JT, go ahead and because D-Ben mentioned with the blockchain and the link between the blockchain and going into the NFTs, the web 3.0 and things of that nature. Yeah, I know you're big into bringing the crypto, so go ahead and touch on like how the blockchain is gonna the connection between the blockchain and the economy and the web 3.0 in terms of bringing in this new digital world and whatnot.
All right. So first, I want to get a precept to kind of go in. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So, a lot of this stuff, a lot of this crypto talk, you know, I know a lot of brothers don't want to hear it, but you know, as the years go on, you're not gonna use a paper dollar anymore. You're gonna use that to wipe your, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna use that
Eventually, you ain't even
Yeah.
gonna use that card. You're gonna use that credit card as a coaster for your
Yeah,
drinks.
that RFID on the credit card is gonna be in you know, well, in the sheet, I should say, yeah. But you know,
Bah.
kind of going into you know, the whole crypto thing. Well, you know, from the beginning, we understand, you know, Bitcoin. When we start at Bitcoin, it was created by, you know, what's his name?
Miyamoto or
Satoshi
something?
Nakamoto, one of
Oh,
those dudes. And we understand that, you know, this had to be some kind of CIA. The government was behind this. This didn't just happen organically, but you know, from what I can see, you know, they started off with Bitcoin, and you know, then you know came Ethereum and all these other coins that actually have better use cases than Bitcoin. Like you can use them for everyday living. Like the problem that people have with Bitcoin is it's too slow. Like to send somebody something, it's too slow. So when you have something like Ethereum or you know a stable coin, things that move a lot faster and have utility that people can use for their everyday lives, you know, a lot of these tokens and coins, they're just a lot better than it. But you also got to understand, like Bitcoin was just a big mascot to get everybody into it, you know, because with cryptocurrency, we all know, you know, all roads lead to the chip.
Yep. Yep.
So, you know, once you get people invested into all these different coins, they got you in the trap already. But we already know it was it was gonna come anyway. But you know, pretty much with the whole blockchain thing, you know, it's just Web 3.0 is literally just the internet on a blockchain. You know, like Swin, I remember I walked you through using Trust Wallet and MetaMask.
Yeah. Yeah.
You remember MetaMask with the fox on there, right?
Yeah.
mhm.
And you know how you could just go on the internet using the wallet browser or whatever,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you would just connect your wallet. That's pretty much what Web 3.0 would be like. You would just be able to use your wallet on there and donate, give whoever you want tokens and stuff like that. So I guess they said that that would be a way to combat, you know, the sensory that's going on, which in the beginning it might, but you know, we already know in the long run, you know, whoever has the most money wins, and we know who has the most money. So
Exactly. And then another aspect that I've noticed about a crypto and coins in general, when everything becomes digital, the economy is just gonna be so chaotic, bro. Cause just look at like crypto is cool, but like just these coins in general, they're way too volatile to be used as an actual like physical monetary system. So either when that happens, they'll either become more stable or the actual economy is going to become like that, where the price of currency just sways up and down like cryptocurrencies, bro. And that's going to be crazy.
but you got to remember the elite, this, like we said, this was all set up. The elite have their coins in there
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
out of all these coins in here, they have their coins that they put in there. You know what I'm saying? Ripple XRP, definitely one. You know, that the whole they're going through a little lawsuit, but you know, that's just I just look at that as like a drama show, you know, like they know what they're
Bitcoin.com
doing.
too. What
Exactly,
was it?
you know.
Was it crypto.com or bitcoin.com? You know, the one that purchased Lakers?
Yeah, oh,
It was
crypto.com, yeah.
crypto.com.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, that was
crypto.com.
yeah, they were there to, you know, put crypto in the face of everybody because that's obviously where they want to go. And you know, there's a lot of new world order coins out there, man, and a lot of people already are seeing them and they're spotting them. You know, this is the way they want it to go. So
Exactly. And again, when everything's digital, that's another way for y'all brothers who heard of Charles Schwab or you read his book, The Great Reset, or are aware of the 2030 agenda. You'll
Yep.
own nothing and
Yep.
be happy. When you hear that at first, you're like, what the hell? How the hell can I own nothing and be happy? Well, you are going to own things. It's just going to be digital. So basically, they're going to like convince people that owning digital things is just as good, if not even better, than owning physical things. Like even I'll use another example. I remember I was watching a video. This is a long time ago by Brother Days and Noah. I don't even think that the video's up anymore. And he was mentioning, or he was actually going over a video that was discussing how can they combat, the waste. How can they combat, useful, basically useless spending, useless eating. And their concept was basically creating called a circular economy where everything is used and everything is recycled. But in order to do that, basically they have to control every aspect of your life. Like even for an example, in the video that he was going over, they mentioned what's the best way to recycle appliances, or the best way to maintain appliances. It was to essentially companies will own the rights or the patent to an appliance like a dishwasher, and you would be paying a rental fee or a subscription fee to use that dishwasher. But with that subscription fee, there'd always be upgrades and there'd be maintenance, things along those lines. And if there was an issue, they could replace it with another a dishwasher. But the fact that it's subscription based and it's really owned by the company, that gives them the power to quote unquote, make sure it's always being renewed. But you're really trading essentially you're trading you actually owning anything for the illusion of things being greener or safer. So that's why for the brothers who don't know, that's another agenda that's going to be a really push in 2022 onward, because really the end goal is for that year 2023 for like I said, all of us to own nothing and to be satisfied. Meaning what? They're gonna make it more difficult for people to purchase homes, which is why we're seeing the prices of homes rising. Why we're seeing a lot of these stimuluses throughout the economy, like giving people basically what's the specific term when it comes to not rent forgiveness, rent like pausing on people's paying.
Rent moratorium.
Thank you. Rent moratoriums is really just delaying the inevitable, because if a person can't pay his rent and you're just putting a hold, what happens is once that hole goes, they got to pay their rent.
Yeah.
So you're not solving the problem. You're delaying the inevitable, and the more you delay it, the larger it is. It's like when you try to stop. What's the best way to describe when you try to stop, like if you've ever worked a job like with a moving company or like some type of service and boxes are falling, and you kind of just try to put your foot or your hand to like stop the boxes from moving, but the boxes behind are slowly being pushed forward as well. So eventually it's going to completely collapse because there are too many boxes. So instead of just putting your arm there to stop the boxes, you need to just let it collapse and then build it back up. You get what I'm saying? That's the issue when it comes to Esau. Instead of letting things collapse and then rebuilding, they want to delay the inevitable so there can be a massive crash. And then once that massive crash happens, then they can come in and be like, I got your help, as opposed to letting smaller crashes happen so that people can adjust naturally. They want larger crashes to happen so that people won't be able to adjust. They'll need government supervision or government interference.
And I want to touch on that point right there because in terms of the process of getting to the point where the Web 3.0, the Metaverse, is like the standard for universal living. It's the standard for work. It's a standard for ownership or so-called ownership and things of that nature in terms of the digital assets that people be using to fund their lifestyles, whether that be in the digital world or as escape from the physical world, or a relation between the digital and the physical world, or the merging of the two. The process of getting to that point where that is the standard, because with that being the standard, and we know what the incision that they want people to get to be able to have access to these certain things, the process of getting to that point as well. What are some of the things that y'all brothers believe are going to happen with the world at large to cause such a dissemination of the world that we see, the world around us today? Because honestly, I'm gonna be real. The average person in society that is hearing what we're saying right now and that's kind of looking around the world and they'll say, how I can't see that happening for, a very, very long time. I can't see that happening for such a long time because of the facade of, what the world gives us, the facade of, them thinking that we're not headed in that direction. The facade of, oh, people will never do that. People will never just relinquish like that. People will never, will always have paper money. The US dollar will always be strong. All that bullshit, that people be saying. So what is going to happen in the world to be able to get us to that point where that is the standard of everyday living?
Honestly, I think a major thing that's going to happen is either another major bank run, or another way you could say it is a stock run or a crypto run.
Yeah.
Well, you get what I'm talking about. For those of you brothers who don't know what a bank run is, it's essentially the scheme which bankers used to do throughout the 18th century, 19th century, 20th century, well, specifically 19th and 20th century. It's basically when the masses of people all run to withdraw all their money from the banks because they believe they're not going to have access to it. And it's the same with any type of asset. So you could apply it to a crypto. You could apply it to stocks where it's a scare or a run and everybody's going to pull out. I think that's one thing that has to happen in order to shock the people. And I think, honestly, I think that's going to be one of the main things that causes a financial crash. Because for those of you brothers who don't know, in this society, all banks in nature are insolvent.
Mm-hmm.
And even for a lot of these companies, when it comes to stocks and the shares that you have, the concept applies as well. The trick is they know everybody doesn't withdraw their money at once. Only certain people do. But if everybody were to try to attempt to take out their money at once, the jig is up, and they would just have to let people know, hey, man, we ain't got enough money for you.
Yeah.
We can't give you your money. And then that's when people freak out. What the fuck you mean you can't give me my money? That's my money.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when the government comes in, and either they're going to do a few things. They might stimulate the economy with more cash, or that might be the point where they decide make things go completely digital, or they could do a mix of both, meaning they could introduce a new U.S. currency. We'll call it U.S. dollar 2. But that new US dollar is going to be digitally backed as well. So they could be like, you have this physical dollar, but it's also digitally backed as well. Try to blend in both until they get people completely on the digital. But that's just a couple theories of mine, just based on certain things that I read and that I understand, what tactics are used to confound the people. So that's what I think is going to happen within the years to come. Not necessarily 2022, but within the years to come, some type of major bank scare or stock scare or crypto scare. If crypto is really popping within the next 3 or 4 years, going to happen where everybody's going to be convinced they got to pull out.
And to add on to that point, with that, because in conjunction with these variants of this so-called disease that's going on right now, we saw what happened in 2020 when everything locked down and everything shut down. We saw everyone pulling the shit out. Stock market plummeted overnight. Record lows and all that type of shit. And that was just like the little fake trial run. You know what I'm saying? When the real deal actually comes, it's going to be real substantial, and it's not going to be the Federal Reserve just pumping stimulus into the economy, or the Federal Reserve propping up the stock market to be something that it's not. To not reflect the actual current state of what's going on economically. It's going to actually be a real longer lasting effect. When these bank runs actually start becoming a more prominent thing in conjunction with the current societal structure, in terms of the new whatever new variant they got that causes some kind of massive lockdown and causes some kind of massive turmoil where people are dying, and they say people are dying in record numbers and all this type of shit that causes pretty much just a prolonged version or a permanent version, or I'll say a version that actually brings permanent results that of what happened in 2020 with certain things like martial law, certain things like checkpoints on the street, real longer lasting curfews. With that going on as well, then you got it coming in from two different angles. You got the actual economic sector that Deben was talking about, but you also have the more health and safety / societal sector of it or aspect of it as well. It's also going to contribute to putting the people in such a state where they need to seek out this digital solution. That's the thing. That's what it's really all about right there, is getting people in a state where they feel like this is a solution that they need to partake in because of the dip of what they once known to be. Because of the dip of what they once knew to be strong, now they offer you another solution, and it's a solution that seems more prominent, that seems more promising, and that they can market that won't have the same dangers as something like a paper currency or a paper currency structure might have, with certain things such as theft, certain things such as being able to be subject to change based off of the the Federal Reserve or current notions and certain things going on in that field. Basically, because with the digital economy, the money system is fake right now anyway. But I mean, it's all fake. You know what I'm saying? So they can mask it to be and tell you anything they want to tell you to make it seem as strong and as stable as they want it to be, to get you to buy into it. So they'll use that. They'll use the the certain plagues and whatnot going on with this disease and whatnot as kind of like, and all in conjunction with the more economic aspect of things. They'll tie those two together to cause people to feel like they need to go in that direction, and that's one way in which they can drive people to actually physically partake in this. Because like I said, the average person look at it right now will say, oh, the American people will never do that. Why would we ever go away from the strong American dollar, the world currency? Why would we ever freely relinquish that power? Well, it's not even necessarily mainly about freely relinquishing it. It's about the facade of need, the structure of the structure of need based off of the current societal events they've put into effect and whatnot as well. But JT, what do you have to say on that subject?
You guys brought up a couple of good points. One of the main things, when it comes to like a crash or something like that, I think they'll definitely look towards digital currencies, because especially with this whole universal income thing, they have something in the works right now where they're doing a test on these black females in a certain area. I forgot exactly where they give them.
It's in Atlanta.
It's okay, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about, right?
What y'all? Can you elaborate? I don't know what y'all talking about.
Elaborate on this one.
It's basically like let me look up the actual company, but it's
are they giving them like 8,000 a week or a month or something like that?
I think it's 800. Let me get it though.
God damn, for doing what? Sucking dick?
But see, that's just that they're testing it on them, because they're gonna have, when everything is digital, they're gonna have something called a universal income where everybody gets their own income with these CBDCs, whatever CBDC they decide to give the people. And with the CBDCs, it's programmable money, right? So you'll have a certain amount of time you have to spend it. And if you don't spend it in that time, it's gone. They'll just delete it out of your account.
And this is the program that it's called the In Her Hands program. It's giving Black women $850 in a month, monthly cash for 2 years, no conditions attached.
You know what that reminded me of? Yeah, but first of all, no conditions attached. That's bullshit.
Yeah, but, of course. Yeah.
I was just going to mention real quick. Do y'all remember this was earlier back in 2020 for California? How Governor Newsom announced like his plan, essentially to pay the rental housing providers the rent owed for the people who live there. And that sounds nice at first, that the government's paying for everybody's rent, but motherfucker, if they paying for your rent, they own your house, nigga. They own your place.
Exactly.
Because whoever pays the money to maintain the place, that's theirs.
And when they own it, when they own it, just real quick, when they own it, they can stipulate certain demands that you have to submit to be able to get their assistance, to be able to get their
Everybody's
help.
got to be vaccinated. Everybody's got to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Everyone's got to submit themselves in some way, shape, or form to whatever it is at that particular period of time. It may not go. It may not be the Karagma mid 2022. It may not be the Karagma in mass late 2022. But eventually it'll be that. But whatever whatever it is at that particular period of time that they're marketing as the foolproof solution, or they're marketing as something that you have to be able to participate in certain aspects of society. If you don't get that, you will no longer be able to get their help. And at that over time, you're so used to their help, you're so used to having their assistance with certain things involving your life. Most people don't plan ahead. Most people don't look, don't look ahead for the next rainy day. Now you're so dependent on them. You need them so much to keep whatever you got to keep up. Then you're like kind of in a situation where it's like, damn, I need this for my survival. I need this. I need their help to upkeep whatever property I got. I can't risk, filing for bankruptcy. I can't risk, defaulting on a mortgage or whatnot. Fuck it, I just got to submit.
Exactly. Yeah. So that it's looking like 2022. One of the main things that'll make people submit will be, a big market crash, and let's not forget, we still got Russia and China, scheming and plotting. You know what I mean? So
that's a whole other thing.
Who's to say, there could be an event where, a DDoS attack, where everybody's internet gets cut for, days. And, that'll cost the government billions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Each day the internet's not on, billions of dollars is drained because we depend on it so much right now. So, anything like some major event will happen to where, people will start waking up, and, a lot of people will, they'll be privy to whatever the government tells them to do. They'll get down in line with it because they'll realize how much they actually depend on it.
Exactly. And with the impact of like Web 3.0 and certain things like that, in terms of getting people to relinquish, what they once participated in, what they once accustomed with, to just solely be down with this, and the downfall of society that is going to come according, or that's going to go along with people ingratiating themselves with this thing right here. At what point I want to ask you brothers this as well. At what stage do you think that they'll start to introduce, or actually in what aspects do you think that they'll start to introduce the whatever form of M0T3 that they use for different sectors? Maybe for the metaverse or whatnot, may go into more about it may go into more the brain chip, but maybe for the maybe for other areas of life. We know that the with the vid and whatnot, the MLB in your right hand is being linked with passports and being able to verify your identity, verify your V status, and certain things like that. So we already know that sector of is covered with, in terms of them programming and them using certain companies to create devices and whatnot that are going to be able to or using certain companies to create certain C devices that are going to be that they're going to start to get the masses to be accustomed to and whatnot. So we already, in terms of the health and safety sector, that's one thing they're definitely doing. But who knows how they're going to link the I hate having to fucking do this, but the incision,
That's what I'm saying. It makes you got to really pause and think.
I'm saying you're. I'm saying, man.
Them JOOS's ain't playing around no more.
Really not, bro. The incision, the Karagma in your right hand. Who knows what sector they're gonna bring with the new digital world, and how they're gonna ingratiate that with the new digital world. But what are some of the things that you brothers think they're gonna do to like get people to go along with the actual incision into your body? Like, how are they gonna link that with the Web 3.0 and the metaverse, certain things like that?
Well, this is just my perspective. I think the main way to get people eased into that system is going to be for safety and security. And actually, for those of you brothers who don't know, it was actually early this month it was the state of Israel. They hosted a cyber, basically a pandemic, simulation, similar to how back in 2019 there was Event 201, also a simulation for the global disease. But it's the reason why I bring this up is because at the end of 2020 or the previous year 2021, you can look up an article. This was around earlier this month. It was Israel, Germany, Austria, the United Kingdom, United States, the International Monetary Fund, and also I believe it's the World Bank as well. All those groups met up together, and I believe Tel Aviv to basically go over a global cybersecurity attack, and basically to lay out that scenario, that system. And anytime I see things like that, just from what I experienced looking back at Event 201 and how that led to, the pandemic, it's just letting me know, or at least it's letting my basically it's giving me a warning in my head that, hey man, in 2022, don't be surprised, David, if there's going to be a cybersecurity attack, a global cybersecurity attack. So 2020, we had the global pandemic. 2022, we're going to have the global security pandemic. So I'm just bringing that up to don't be surprised if something like that happens in 2022.
Oh no, for sure. That's what I was alluding to before. When the internet cuts off, like there's gonna be an attack, and I was saying, like, I believe each day that the internet is off, the government lose 50 billion. So that could go in part with the Great Reset. We've lost so much money, we can't come back from this. So now, now we gotta just completely rearrange. We gotta change the system. We gotta go digital. You know what I mean? And that's how they grab everybody. Because everything else is worthless at that point. They won't be able to come back.
And I just have to read this real quick, because even the article I'm looking at, they just mocking us. I'm just read it. The language coming from Revival mirrors that of Schwab's message of resilience and stability when he called for a great reset of society and the global economy in June 2020. The World Economic Forum has been exceptionally prophetic in preparing for crises just before they happen. For example, just a few months before the CV-19, the outbreak, the WEF, along with John Hopkins and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, held a fake pandemic exercise on October 18, 2019, called Event 201, which specifically simulated the pandemic to gauge global preparedness. Many scenarios coming out of Event 201 became reality in 2020, including government lockdowns, social media censorship, global economic crashes, and societal upheaval, all ingredients being necessary to usher in a great reset. And in the same style as the Event 201 simulation, yesterday's collective strength simulation also included mock news reports, this time about a scenario that caused chaos in global markets and a run on banks. Like, who creates a scenario with fake news reports?
Never say this.
They gotta simulate the news reports.
Devil.
The devil himself, nigga.
And it's funny, it says, what's more, a cyber attack with COVID-like characteristics would spread faster and farther than any biological virus. Its reproductive rate would be around 10 times greater than what we experienced with coronavirus. And there are videos on the YouTube that allude to this as well, how they're comparing this digital virus to the alleged real virus, but how this one is going to be more deadly, because if a global crash happens in the digital world, it's not going to be the internet. It's not going to be just limited to the internet. The banks are going to be affected as well, because all these banks are digital. A lot of our personal information we have is digital. We might not shoot. Maybe that might even affect cell phone towers and be able to contact each other. Who knows?
Yep. That's what's gonna. I think that might be the big event, man.
And honestly, as well,
attack from Russia or China or something like that.
And you look at when you analyze the word reset as well. When you analyze that term, because what do you have to do in order to cause a reset, or what has to happen in order to cause a reset, a malfunction, a freeze, or something that you need a reset for? Something that you gotta flip the switch, turn your phone off and turn it back on. When your phone's malfunctioning, what do? You reset it. You turn it off and you turn it back on. When you turn it back on, you get a whole new. Of course, with your phone, it's the same thing, but when you get a whole new setup and whatnot, you get a fresh face, for a fresh sample. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with a global reset. Why would you need to reset something? Why would you need to make something new again? Because there's a current flaw in the current structure that's going on right now. So the whole thing about the global reset and whatnot is the reset has to be put into place because of an event that's going to cause a mass malfunction in general.
Exactly. That's why I just, the reason why I brought that article, just looking back on everything that happened, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Just be prepared when that shit happens. Shit, it might happen. Just to mimic the last pandemic, it might happen around March.
But it could be 100% digital and cyber, because or it could be both. It could be a cyber attack and an announcement of some crazy
New strain.
variant, new strain or whatnot that everyone needs to quarantine for a mandatory amount of time, and because of the rapid spreading of this new variant and whatnot. It could be a combination of both. That way, they're able to affect both sectors of the world, the economic sector of the world via the economic sector, and the digital sector as well. The economic and social, which affects the digital as well. Tear both of those down by some huge malfunction, aka some huge event that causes a malfunction, and then you have proper grounds to bring in your reset, based off of you having an issue with how things are currently constructed. So there has to be some type of big, mega, catastrophic event. That's what we're getting at with these things that are going on or are going to happen in 2022 and beyond. It's going to be a series of catastrophic events. Maybe how big or small they are, time will tell. But it's going to be a series of big catastrophic events that have to happen in order to even usher in the new world in general. So we looking out for crazy cyber attacks. We're looking out for mass shootings and mass deaths. In terms of certain events that will trigger and that will cause certain societal uproar and certain societal chaos. Look for crazy strains and crazy variants. More propaganda about how the jabs are no longer working, and basically cause for the elites and justification for them to institute their mass lockdowns and their heavy measures. Because pretty much with all 2020 and 2021, what they did was they put into the atmosphere, they put into the air justification to shut everything down because of a health scare. Justification to shut everything down because of some lofty numbers that they could make up about how many people are dying.
And don't forget about the disasters too, man. Those aren't gonna stop.
You said the what?
About the disasters, the natural disasters, but not even
that as well. Yeah.
I mean, y'all brothers forget. I still haven't forgotten what happened in the damn what's it called, supply chain issues. I'm waiting. I'm waiting because they were acting like Christmas was going to be the end all be all. I'm waiting. Usually, when the narrative is out there, they don't just disappear. It's going to bite eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Esau says they want to be like the Most High, so they're not slack.
That's definitely still looming as well. And you know what's crazy with that too, because that narrative could prop back up early or middle or late, whatever, in 2022 as well, and that can trigger the because we all know the money. Like I said earlier, the money system is a facade, it's fake in general, but there are certain events that go on in the world that do trigger certain changes in the economic sphere. So they could bring that narrative back again in 2022, which is going to cause mass inflation as well. Because that the inflation narrative, they pretty much that's swept under the rug. Now it's still going on. When you actually analyze price trends and certain things like that, things are rising at meats, water, certain things like that, gas in certain
Yes.
areas
Yep.
are rising in some places rapidly, but they haven't been promoting that narrative as much anymore in recent months, in recent weeks. But they can start promoting that narrative again, and at the same time, they could be using that narrative to push hyperinflation or push inflation or mass inflation, which will trend into hyperinflation in 2022 as well. Which that could be another
and
basically event right there that could trigger the downfall of the American economy, causing them to basically default on everything and just say, you know what, fuck it, we can't get out of this. We got to make everything digital.
yeah, and also the narrative with Bitcoin too is, you know what I'm saying, a lot of these white boys, they say it's a hedge against inflation. That's the big narrative behind it too. So that's why they're all running to it. But you know, everything is gonna be
Safety net
digital,
per se.
man. Exactly. Everything is gonna be digital. The dollar is gonna be nothing. It's gonna be done.
That's
And
what I'm
that's
saying.
and that's the thing with the digital. They can mask it as, now we all know that these cryptocurrencies are volatile, but they can, because of the
For now,
downturn of
right
the
now.
dollar. Yeah, right now, of course, yeah. But because of the downturn of the dollar, because of the whenever this happens in 2022, early or late, whenever this happens, where the dollar is gonna basically lose a lot of value because of the American people seeing and certain. And don't get it twisted. Don't be surprised if they start promoting certain imagery to you as well of people, going to the stores and certain crisis actors, maybe fighting each other in stores, certain people, certain imagery of people just crying outside of stores and whatnot, or any kind of things that they could pull out of their hat, out of their sleeve, to get to tap into people's mindsets as well. Don't be surprised they start bringing that stuff out as well in mass and in numbers in 2022 to get people within the mindset that the American dollar is worthless. Now we know it is, and we know it's trending in that direction, but get people in the mindset of the American dollar is worthless. It means nothing. That way, when it actually tanks, when it actually falls to the wayside, now the digital solution seems much more appealing to people, and not just the digital dollar solution, but also a way to actually verify, you know, the digital dollars, verify the digital economic system within you, as well as having it link up with the vid and certain things like that. Because that's the thing, they linking everything up as one, having your Caragma be your one-stop shop for everything. That's the system that they're trying to create. So I'm looking at it from a perspective of a mass event that accompanies that crosses different sectors of the world. A mass event that triggers an economic collapse, a societal collapse, a health collapse, a health and safety collapse, everything. That way, they can present the Karagma as a one-stop shop fix for everything. You can now access certain, because the American dollar is going to be worthless. You can now access certain things you may need in stores, but only at small doses because of hyperinflation. You'll now be protected against vid, because everyone that is going to be able to enter a certain environment has to have this thing certifying that they've got the jab. So you won't be around any unjabbed people. Certain things like that. People will think that they're protected in that way as well. So it's all about creating a facade of economic protection and societal protection, health protection, with the Karagma being your stamp of that protection. That's kind of how I see, where they're gonna, or what events they're gonna trigger to be able to get people in the mindset of being okay with that.
No, I see what you mean, because at the end of the day, we do know there's going to be a massive scare to get people to transition over to everything being digital. And we already know the 2020 was basically the initial push, because a lot of people don't realize with the events, and yeah, Randy, it is communism. but yeah, with the events that happened in 2020, a lot of it was just basically the shock the minds of the people. Because for any of you brothers who've done any research on MK Ultra, when you're trying to put someone over in mind control and trying to shape their thoughts, what happens? You have to traumatize the victim. So what was that massive trauma? First, it was 2020 with Kobe Bryant dying. That fucked with a lot of niggas, bro. A lot of people were hurt when Kobe Bryant died. Then, after Kobe dies, then we have this big massive, this big massive event, and the lockdowns. And after the lockdowns, we have the riots, and things are starting to calm down. But that damage has already been done. Now that the damage has been done, from that point onward, everything else is just about the programming and the messaging. What can we get the people to accept now that they've been broken down to a certain degree, and it's starting to work slowly.
And also, my fault. Go ahead.
No, yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's why over time, for you brothers who pay attention, especially in 2022 and the years to come, a lot of people who you swore were never going to go follow the program, who even said, "Oh, I'm not doing this. This is bullshit. I'm moving my own way." A lot of those people who are rah and all talk, when they got to really put their money when their mouth is, they're going to fold up too, because they've been weakened by a lot of the propaganda. Because at the end of the day, the average person is not mentally tough. Most people conform to what's going on around them, men and women. So now that this society has essentially put the pressure mentally on people, a lot of people are going to cave up, bro. So like I said, don't be surprised, especially when 2020, when whatever event that they have planned for 2020 happens, that a lot of people just cave in.
And a lot of people are going to cave in, because I also wanted to say, a majority of these people are just empty vessels, man. They don't believe in anything. They're just here walking around. They don't adhere to a higher power. They don't believe in anything. So of course they're gonna just cave in, because there's nothing else for them. It's just this and this only.
They don't stand on anything firm. That they don't stand on anything firm that that's not rooted in acceptance of this world. That's not rooted in ingratiating yourself with in the confines of this society.
If they can't see it, it doesn't matter to them.
Exactly.
And the sad thing is yeah, you can't see it right now. Right now you can't see it, but you will.
Yeah, you definitely will. And on top of that too, I think that's going to be some of the appeal with the metaverse and whatnot. Creating, like, I look at it like this. I don't know exactly how the metaverse is going to go down in terms of how it's going to look or whatnot, but I look at it like this. I think because of because of what's going to be going on in the world, when the metaverse when they really start pushing it heavy like that, I think they're trying to push it as an alternative solution. I mean, they are, as an alternative reality solution. So when people are seeing the reality of this world, they're seeing what's going on around the world. They're seeing, wars and rumors of wars. They're seeing civil war, the spirit of civil war being, propped up in America. They're seeing the fall of the economy. They're seeing nothing but propaganda in the media and the news about how bad these new variants of vid are getting and certain things like that. They're going to be looking for an escape. And I think that part of getting people to join the metaverse will be an escape from. I mean, that's what it is. Alternate reality. It's an escape from the current reality that's going on. And I think
And
that
the excuse will be the lockdown, the next lockdown.
The next lockdown as well. Exactly. Give people a place to go to escape dealing with and addressing the current reality of what's going on, what will be going on in the future. So I think that what they'll do is, in order to be able to certify in the metaverse who's actually a quote unquote good citizen, who's a quote unquote good person in the metaverse, limit quote unquote crime, limit things that are actually going on within the actual real world. I think what they might do is have some sort of like staged event in the metaverse where this such and such happened in the metaverse. Now, in order to prevent these things from happening, we got to make sure that we can. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, bro, you're right on the button. There's already a thing. A female claims she got sexually harassed in the metaverse, man.
There you go. There you go.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
There you go.
Work on non-metaverse sexual harassment. It's like,
there you go, right there. That's the spirit. That's the spirit, bro. There you go, right there. So with those quote unquote events happening within the metaverse, now it's like, okay, now we have to make sure that we can certify and we can check, everyone's former the past or the life in this world, life in the real world, check and always be able to, have access to people's thoughts and what they're thinking about, so that those don't become actions within the metaverse. And what is the way in which they're going to do that? The Neuralink. What's the way in
Yes,
which they
sir.
could do that? And that's the Neuralink right there.
That they can literally police your mind.
They can.
Like, that's
Exactly.
crazy.
Exactly.
They can police your thoughts. Anything, if you think something that they don't agree with, you could get, say, if everything by then is running on blockchain, they could just, we deduct 5.5 Ethereum from your wallet today. You know what I mean? And then now you don't have enough money to pay your rent. You got to hope that your universal income comes in a little faster and shit like that.
It's
pretty
called
much just
thought crime.
It's called what?
A thought crime. For any of you brothers who read what's it? How am I forgetting that book? I feel so stupid. It'll come back to me. It's one written by George Orwell. I can't remember.
1984.
Thank you. 1984. Thank you. I was confusing that and Animal before, but in 1984 they had a concept like that called thought crime. Like, literally in that world, people had to be careful what they thought, because that could be a crime. And also, just to address the point that Turner Classic made about a bunch of states increasing minimum wage, that's always a sign of inflation. Definitely. That's true, because minimum wage, it's damn near double, bro. Like I remember working at Wendy's back in 2018, making $7.25 an hour. If you were to go to Wendy's right now, you can make $14 an hour.
Yes, man.
And that's how they tried to get me to take the shot too. They're talking, double up your salary, and it's like, in my head, I'm like, bro, you're giving me the same thing. It's just inflation, bro. I'm not dumb.
Exactly.
My station ain't gonna be any better because everything's more fucking expensive.
Yep.
But it's just funny too. Also, the fact that they're doing that is just to show you that for a lot of those, especially fast food restaurants, they're dealing with a worker shortage, because most people don't want to work fucking fast food anymore. To be honest, they lost most of their fast food workers to a lot of these ride-sharing apps like DoorDash and Uber Eats and things like that. Or people are just working remotely as opposed to doing a damn shitty-ass fast food job.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, you said you were gonna talk about that telescope thing, right?
Yeah, we definitely gonna touch on that as well. But do y'all what Turner Classic said? Do y'all know who and appreciate you coming through Turner Classic? Do y'all know what this is? Terry Bogard.
Terry Bogard. What is that? Terry? Let me look that up.
Hey, Turner Classic. What do you mean by Terry Bogard?
Is that Terry Bogard? What you talking about? Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Terry.
Hey, shout out to Bestow. Hey, Shalom, Bestow. Appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, and then by the way, for y'all brothers who haven't read that, 1984 is a great read. Animal Farm, A Brave New World. Another one that I love is Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah, Fahrenheit 451 is a good read.
Yeah, I remember that was one of the few books my English teacher made us read. I hated her ass, but I actually loved that book. So shout out to her.
You were talking about a Street Fighter. No, a Smash Bros character. Yeah.
Oh, Terry Bogard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you talking about not Street Fighter?
Smash Bros.
No, he's Smash Bros. It's a SNK or Fatal Fury or whatever. But that's irrelevant. Whatever. What do you mean they have sexual harassment? Are you talking about for the video game?
No, I think around this time we were speaking on the sexual harassment within the metaverse and how they're going to use certain events like that to get people to have control over people's thoughts and be able to control and be able to certify what people are thinking of to limit certain crimes within the metaverse.
That's an earlier comment. My bad. I thought that was like the comment, like the most recent comment. I was just like, oh, what the hell?
And I just speaking on the metaverse real quick as well, just around that point out, in conjunction with the Neuralink, I think that one thing that they're going to use within the metaverse as well to an effect of the metaverse, and an added on effect of the metaverse, they're going to use in conjunction with the Neuralink is you get more access to the things of the metaverse. Like there's probably going to be levels of the metaverse. You know what I'm saying? A basic level, just any subscription service, like Netflix. You get your basic, where it's just you. You get your the next level up, where you may get some high definition. Maybe you can have 2 or 3 accounts on at one time. Then you get
premium.
the premium. You know what I'm saying? We can have like 5 or 6, 7 different accounts, or people watching on one account. You get the best the best quality definition screen. So it's gonna be the same way within the metaverse. You have levels to the metaverse. The more and with having the Neuralink attached to you, you may be able to. There may be an incentive within the metaverse via having the Neuralink, or even just the hand charagma. Where you have access to higher level perks of the metaverse via having that. Who knows? We'll see.
First off, too, I just got this idea. Bro, when we're talking about the Neuralink, we got to understand that the Neuralink is something way bigger than the metaverse, man. And I just connected with me. You know how I think it's in Revelations where it talks about, I think it's the Antichrist or whoever he'll show you many signs and wonders and stuff like that. They're talking about the Neuralink has the power to, like, if you can't walk, you put that Neuralink in you, you'll be able to walk again, bro. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't move your arms, or you don't have an arm, you get a robot arm and you put that Neuralink in it. They have the technology for you to, like, use your arm again, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So it's literally Antichrist power. And then next,
exactly,
they can make the blind see again.
yes, exactly. Because, bro, and they can do it because I remember, I think you said it, D-Ben. The only problem they had was with robots is that they couldn't see, and they solved it. They are able to make robots see, and imagine what they could do with the Neuralink with humans, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you already got Elon Musk talking about how what he expects from the Neuralink. He expects people to be able to walk again. He expects older people to be able to be cured of Alzheimer's and dementia. I mean, how many older people out there you think would love to be able to have a sound sense of memory again?
I feel like that dude is. I don't want to throw anything out there, but it's just a thought. That dude might be him. You know what I'm saying? Or one of them, because we know there's many of them. But he might be one of them dudes with them lying signs and wonders, man. Because that Neuralink is gonna do a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I can see people being like, "Wow, I can walk again. I can see again. I can." And a lot of people really putting their faith in that.
Yeah. Wow. And then look at it like this too. Here comes the conflict. Oh, your Bible says this is a bad thing, the mark of the beast. I can walk again because of this. You damn devil. You know what I'm saying? They'll flip it on you.
And then you're like, what's God of Bible ever done for me?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And then because we often say, the Most High controls everything, which he does, they'll say, oh, well, if the Most High controls everything, then God made me paralyzed, or God made me lose my memory, or God made me lose my eyesight. Exactly.
But at the end of the day, go ahead.
I can't wait for that day. I'm sorry, man.
I was just saying, this is that precept that you were going into. This is Revelation, the 13th chapter, and the 14th verse. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, and which they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. So kind of breaking that down and whatnot, kind of just analyzing that on a deeper level. Those medical miracles can be, part of those means of those miracles, man. Those medical miracles could be, those signs, part of those signs and wonders that people are going to be ingratiating themselves with, in these last days, and putting their faith in and relying on, in these last days, and causing them to inherit a spirit of life. And then also at the same time, you being against it, going into what, like it says in verse 15, it says that if you don't worship the image of the beast, you should be killed. We oftentimes think about the elites when we think about that, the FEMA camps, them dragging people out their home. It might just be regular civilians as well.
Yep.
It might just be regular civilians as well who just, you know, you not down. I'm able to walk again, and you trying to, you know, talk against my Elon. Yeah, I'm gonna take you out. You know, something like that.
Facts, bro. You're gonna be hated because
Uh-huh.
we gotta remember, man. The God of this world is the God of the dead. The God of the scriptures is the God of life, man. And those two, they're in complete conflict with each other. They don't get along at all. You understand? So yeah, man. That's why when the stuff comes out, people are going to start running to this because they're just going to see it as, hey man, the fourth industrial revolution, new technology. This is just like what we've seen in the movies, all that predictive programming and stuff like that. And brothers got to be prepared. Like they're going to set it up. Don't get it twisted. Like you have people right now talking about, oh, this is the mark of the beast, da da da. A lot of people can. I mean, this is the charagma. My bad. A lot of people can see it, but
Yeah.
but as time goes by and they start seeing like the good that they're trying to portray it can do, people are gonna be along with the program, man, because a lot of people
Exactly.
ain't waiting on the second coming, bro. They're gonna
And
get
it's
fed up.
and it's even scriptural too. Like when you were bringing out that point, I just wanted to bring up one precept. It's Matthew, the 10th chapter, starting in verse 20. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Now we know, according to this verse, it has a dual-fold meaning because it represented that time period when our people were in that captivity under Edom, under Rome. However, what brothers don't really understand, we're in that reinvigorated Rome, that rejuvenated Rome. So that persecution that our people experienced under the old or ancient Roman Empire, we're going to experience in this neo-Roman Empire as well. So brothers just got to be aware of when that time comes. Many of your family relatives who have bought in are going to come against you. Many of the people you consider friends are going to come against you. Shit, if you're not careful, you might be the one who switches up and come against the truth, man. So
Exactly.
it's very important for you to be very grounded in what you believe, so you don't allow others to affect you, and you don't become that weight and that terror on other people as well. So that's just things to be aware of.
Definitely. I mean, in these last days, we're gonna see a falling away like we never had before. That's another thing that's gonna come in 2022 and beyond. A falling away like we never had before. When I say falling away, I don't just mean falling away from the truth. I mean a falling away of all proportions. People falling away from each other, people falling away from sound understanding and leaning on more emotionalism and medical miracles and false signs and wonders that are gonna come from, antichrist figures and whatnot. You know, you're gonna have a falling away of all proportions. People leaving, you know, away from people who are not wanting to be ingratiating themselves with this system, you know, and then also those same people can turn on you as well. Because don't get it twisted. There's gonna be, Joe Biden already put that in the air in regards to the jabs and whatnot, but that was just a little test run. In 2022 and beyond, there's gonna be incentive-based programs for people turning in people who are opposed to the certain societal tenets and whatnot. Don't get it. You're gonna have rewards and incentives and prizes. Maybe they're gonna pay you in the damn metaverse, man. They're gonna pay you in NFT or whatever, man. Don't be surprised that you see that more in 2022 and beyond. Incentives for turning people over to the authorities, turning people over to FEMA camps, whatever it may be. Don't be surprised you see that. So that's definitely coming in 2022 and beyond as well. And that leads into the final, topic as well. Actually, before we get into that, Max said there's a Black Mirror episode. A brother used it, and his brain was reliant on it going into the Neuralink or the Charagma, the brain version of the Charagma. When he turned, I guess he had turned it off, he became retarded. And that's the interesting point right there as well, because it's as if the brain implant is going to act as your new brain, your new central nervous, your new CPU for your body, basically. 'Cause that's what your brain represents. The brain chip, the brain implant, that's what it's going to be, and that's how they're fashioning it as. There was an article that came out about how Tesla having smartphones and whatnot. These Tesla branded smartphones. Elon Musk was like, that's crazy. Neuralink is the future. And I think one of the reasons why he's so heavy on Neuralink being the future is because with Neuralink being the future, that basically is going to be people's new brain, and they can program your Neuralink however they see fit. So we were just talking about people turning each other in, people turning away from the precept of Matthew 10 about the father against the son, the daughter against the mother, all the division and the falling away. A part of that it's not even just going to be people constantly doing so, but the fact that people's brains are literally going to be occupied, literally going to be controlled by the occupied brain implant that they have. So they're not even going to have their own thoughts. Now people don't have their own thoughts right now anyway, but they're really not even going to have their own thoughts at that point, at that particular period of time. It's going to be completely controlled by however they program your specific brain implant at that particular moment in time.
You won't need a phone with Neuralink. You could just call somebody up with your brain, bro.
Exactly.
Like your brain is literally a computer at that point. Just like how we use a computer, you use your brain just like that with the Neuralink.
Exactly.
And just like with a computer, they can turn it on and off.
Yep. Exactly. But they don't care because, as long as I can learn Spanish and learn karate in like 5 minutes, just downloading a PDF file or whatever automatically without actually having to try, that's cool. That's awesome to me. I don't give a fuck about anything else. You know what I'm saying?
And honestly, it's going to be at that point where you're not even a human being at that point. You're just a machine. You're honestly just a merchandise. Because when you when you can be updated like a computer, then what are you now? Are you a person? Are you a computer?
You belong to Esau, Edom, or the devil, or Satan.
Yeah, you got the Neuralink brain implant. You got the Karagma finger implant. You probably got organo.
Hey guys, did you get your update this morning? Yeah, I got mine before class, bro.
And keep in mind too, at that point in time, you'll be non-jabs in too. You be non-jabs in as well.
Jabs.
No,
that's your 9 jab. That's that year.
It's not gonna be jabs at that point. It's gonna be updates, man.
Yep.
You gotta remember they got the M0T3 pills. Please take your daily prescription. Motherfuckers just gotta take a pill before they can step out the house.
And also when they start bringing in their social credit score as well, which that's a point I harp on a lot because I really see that coming to Babylon soon. Because I look at it like this: they have to have a social credit score in order to certify who's down with the new changes in the world and who's not. They got to implement that social credit score because they got to put a divider between the ones who's down and the ones who's not. And if you and they got to put some sort of division in terms of what you have access to based off of your actual thoughts, based off of your actual actions, based off of how compliant you are to society. Pretty much, if you show all the tenets of someone like us who in the truth, speaking outwardly and openly about the wickedness of this nation, speaking out and openly about the downfall of this place, wanting to see this place destroyed, and this giving brothers advice how to navigate while not ingratiating yourself with the system. We're brothers who are going to be at the we're going to have negative social credit scores.
You said, Yahweh, I have deducted 50 million tokens from your wallet. You are now bankrupt. Goodbye, nigga.
Pretty much. Because they got to bring that in. They got to bring that into effect in order to be able to control, who they got on their side and who don't. And if you're not on their side, you no longer have access to their world. They control it. It is what it is. The facade of freedom is over. It's being shown outwardly and openly right now. Now, people are still too blind to see it, but it's being shown outwardly and openly right now. The Zionists at the top, they control all this shit. Of course, the Most High gives them that power, but they can in the fleshy realm, they control all this shit. And they so because they control it all, they have the right to be able to say who is a part of my society and who doesn't. If you got a home, you got the right to tell people whether they can come into your home or not. It's your home, you own the shit. Well, they own this world, you know, in the fleshy realm. So they have the power to be able to choose who can go into, who can operate in this world and who can't. And it's going to be based upon how many philosophies of them that you accept, how many pagan beast philosophies that they emit that you accept. So they got to bring the social credit score in to be able to certify who's down with them and who's not. And that's going to certify whether you can buy food, whether you can sell goods and services, whether you can work, whether you can provide for yourself, whether you can have a home, whether you can do certain just do anything within this world. It's going to depend on how well your social credit score is. Also, too, that's going to keep people in line. That's going to keep people from saying certain things that they might deem off. That's going to keep people from even thinking about doing actions. That's especially when they bring the chip into damn.
You see, it's hard, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Because when you just start talking, it's like, you know, you just want to say what naturally comes to mind.
I'm saying, man, fuck this shit, man. But when they bring the certain when they bring the charagma into people's bodies, and them that syncing up with your system and your brain and whatnot, and them actually them having a method to control you, because that's what that's going to represent, especially when it seeps into your bloodstream, when it becomes one with your DNA. It controls your mind, body, and spirit. So they're able to read your thoughts and whatnot as well, you know. So they're able to see, do you have negative thoughts towards us? Thought crimes, as D-Ben was saying. You have negative thoughts towards us? Do you have an issue with the new societal premise that we brought into effect? All right, cool. Well, you can't buy food this week. It is what it is. That they're also going to be able to control how compliant people are and keep people in check and in line with the social credit score as well. And they definitely want to keep people in line because they want to. The thing about it is they want to keep the people in line that are going to be in line. Everyone else, they like the hell with you. They want to bring the population down to 500 million. So everybody else, they see us good as dead. People like us, they see us good as dead. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was about to say. By the time all this shit happens, bro, we're gonna be gone. We're either gonna be dead or we're gonna be in the wilderness, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. So with that being said, you know, they see people like us good as dead and whatnot. So, you know, we're not gonna be part of it anyway. But the people that they actually, you know, want to be part of their system, they want to have a tight reign and a tight level of control on them. And bringing that social credit score into effect into the world will provide an incentive for people to you know, tote the line per se with whatever they bring with you know, however the mood of what the world is at that particular period of time, whatever they say, whatever the things they bring into effect, kind of tote the line on, you know, being a good slave, being a good servant to their system, being a good subject to their system, because you still want access to this to the current society. So in my opinion, I look at it like they got to bring that social credit score in.
What you think in 2022, or
I don't know if it's going to be in 2022. I mean, I know they have it implemented in stages in China. So I don't know how it's in the world right now. I don't know how quickly they're going to bring it to America, but you know, I think it's going to be brought in when the mass implementation of the charagma is brought in, because like I said, I look at the charagma as a one-stop shop for everything. You know, like I said earlier, one stop for health and safety, linking it with the certain things surrounding the vid and these variants and whatnot. The your money, having access to your money via well your digital wallet. I mean by money, with the downfall of the American dollar and, you know, rise of hyperinflation and certain things like that. You know, so these bank runs and everything that's going to cause the collapse of the American dollar and bring in the digital economy. The charagma is going to be a one-stop shop for that as well. One-stop shop to be able to from the elite side to be able to control the people, to have access to their thoughts, have access to as a way to weed out people as undesirables, that they don't want to be part of this new world structure. by being able to control, by being able to take a sneak peek within the mindsets of people. Now they're able to see, okay, you're undesirable. It's like that new show that I'm watching and that you was watching, Demon, 3% on
3%,
Netflix.
yeah.
You know, it's like they can with those tests, the process, they weed out the undesirables within the first like 2 tests. That's what they kind of want with. I think they kind of want with the Karagma. Even if you get it and they put it inside you, you still can be deemed undesirable by you being uneasy about it. You not really your faith not being in it fully. You having mixed thoughts and mixed opinions towards it.
The Most High don't want lukewarm. Satan don't want it either, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, facts.
Exactly. You gotta be
Facts.
10 toes down, man. But like
Facts.
at the end of the day, I'm gonna be 10 toes down for the Lord, not 10 toes down for the devil. Like Christ said
Absolutely.
himself, man, you can't serve 2 masters. You can't serve you can't drink from the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils, or you can't serve the Lord and mammon. There's just
Absolutely.
multiple verses, and even like not J2K, JT just alluded to. I believe it's in Revelations, the 2nd or 3rd chapter, how those of us who are lukewarm, the Most High is going to spit from His mouth, and this wicked society is going to do the same, because you're either in or you're out. There's no picking sides when it comes to basically when the MLB is on the scene. And
imagine you were Jay. Oh, my fault. Go ahead.
No, yeah, and I was just going to say, speaking of, because Randy's made a comment about predictive programming, I just wanted to bring that up when it comes to the metaverse, and a lot of these concepts are coming in 2022. It's not a coincidence that they released that Matrix movie the end of this year. To be honest, that movie was fucking terrible. It tanked. They're not going to make any sequels, and there's a reason for that too. Like the whole purpose of that movie was honestly just for spell casting purposes, to put a certain thought in the minds of the people. I mean, literally, the movie starts off, you see the ones and the zeros, with the digital numbers, and then you enter the gateway through the zero, you enter the portal into the Matrix, which is just, it's just Oz, it's just Wonderland, it's Wakanda, whatever type of imaginary world that people, plug into. So that whole movie coming out, basically the end of 2021 in the winter leading up to 2022, it's just letting you know that that's the goal, or going to be one of the massive goals for 2022, getting everybody plugged into basically a better Matrix. Because that was, when you watch that movie, that was really the premise of the movie. It was like the Matrix, but before, but better. The new creator, or the new architect, unlike the previous one, this new architect had a better understanding of the human heart and the condition, and was basically able to lead and guide the minds of the people. That's also letting you know in a surreptitious way that these these ruling powers who exist now, unlike their forefathers, have a better understanding of the human mind, just through the time and science and things along those lines. So they're able to puppet us even more efficiently than their forefathers were able to. But I mean, a lot of the cracks are slipping due to the release of information, but a lot of that shit doesn't matter. All it's done is it's awoken the people who are meant to be woken up. But the vast majority of people are still asleep under that programming, man. They're still in the Matrix, they're still in Wonderland, they're still in Oz, and it's only going to ratchet it up from 2022 onward. Honestly, 2022 is going to be the year of basically the year of getting you plugged in when it comes to the metaverse, getting you plugged in when it comes to just the concept of basically your entire life being funneled around technology. This is going to be the year when that happens, man.
Most definitely. Those are great points, bro. We're definitely headed in that. We're definitely headed in that direction of the technology age. And Hitman, as Hitman always brings up, you go to Revelation the 13th chapter, it talks about the image of the beast. That has to be something. Well, of course, it means multiple different things. It does represent a certain philosophy, the pagan spiritual philosophies as well. It does represent that that people are going to accept the certain pagan gods, the pagan, the certain societal and practices and tenets of these pagan gods. People are going to accept into their lifestyle choices. It does represent that as well, but also the image of the beast representing going into the technology field as well. And Hitman always, Hitman, you don't want to touch on that point a lot. So expound on why you believe with the image of the beast, going into the tech world, the tech sphere.
Well, I kind of just, when it came to the beast, right? You got the image and then you got the charagma. So it's like I kind of like just said, well, they gotta kind of be similar in the way they're used, right? So we know the charagma is technology based. So the image would most likely be something technology based as well, right? So
Mhm.
then you get into the whole Neuralink thing that goes into it, the image as well with the whole meta or just
Infinity.
yeah, exactly. Like just getting you literally worship the image that Esau created because
Mhm.
it's Esau's creation, that whole universe there. You see what I'm saying?
I see.
Like exactly like the Matrix, if you want to
Yeah,
call it that.
exactly. Because you think about image, um, when people ingratiate themselves with an image, it's usually because their mindsets resonate with it. When you look at an image, or when an image is pleasing to you, it's because it's stimulating to you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And that's what this technical field, or this tech world, this new tech world that we're headed into, is going to be very stimulating to people. I was watching, I don't know if y'all know this YouTuber named Graham Stephan. I'm sure some of y'all know who he is. He's like a financial guy. But I was watching this YouTuber named Graham Stephan, and he was talking about how he plans to invest in the metaverse. I'm like, you know what? It's certain things like that, or certain YouTubers. I'm not now. I mean, the nigga. I mean, well, he's a white dude, but he could be, in the occult. I don't fucking know. I mean, nor do I really give a fuck. But who knows what he's really a part of. But it's people like that, and people who kind of you know represent that mindset, of being stimulated by these certain technical advancements or technological advancements that Esau has, causes, like I said earlier, when you're stimulated, when the image is pleasing to you, it's because it's stimulating in some way, form, whether it's stimulating your brain, it's stimulating your body, whatever it may be. And with these technical advancements, it's going to be stimulating a lot of people's brains. It's going to be stimulating a lot of it's going to be stimulating their thoughts. They're going to be thinking, how can I capitalize on this? How can I ingratiate myself with this? I see this as a big come up opportunity for me. It's stimulating in that way, and that's what's going to get people to worship that image, worship that technical, the technical aspect of society, you know, because it's very, like I said, very stimulating to them. And like I said earlier as well, not on the video, but off camera to y'all brothers. Um, I personally think in the metaverse as well, they're gonna have a lot of subliminal programming for the Baphomet. That's what I think as well for
Oh yeah,
playing.
for sure. Of course they have to. It's there's a lot of Saturnian um programming. Everything is Saturn, Saturn, Saturn. Just
Exactly.
look at the metaverse commercials with Mark Zuckerberg, right? It's all Saturn. It's all
Hmm.
Saturnian, right?
And the fact that a lot of times you'll see him wearing all black as well, they're letting you know
Exactly.
he's a Saturnian, bro.
Always.
But I wouldn't be
Exactly.
surprised if they have, even if within the metaverse they have certain the best way to say it, sub programs or yeah, I'll just say it, sub programs that are allude to Saturn in some type of way.
Also,
I wouldn't be surprised.
well, that crypto.com thing, Devin?
Can you
Guess what?
repeat that?
You know that crypto.com?
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
the one that bought the Staples Center?
yeah.
Yeah, guess what their token is called? It's
What's it
called
called?
Kronos.
Hey,
Mm, 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 mm.
Yeah, big
hey,
old symbol of Saturn.
Chronos for the crown, man. It's just
Yep.
Mhm.
this shit is. You can't even make this shit up, bro.
It's a good point about Messiah. He said,
Hey
"Bro, this
man.
switch up." Here, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say the truth is stranger than fiction, man.
Facts, facts. I just want to read this point about Messiah as well. He said, "Bro, they switch up a lot of shit. Who the hell knows what they would turn off? That fucking shit." He said, "Oh, OFF." I think he said F like fuck. Would turn off that shit for. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Damn, I said.
He even tried to help you, Swin. He tried
He
to help
did.
you
He
with the
put the one right there, bro. Who would turn off that seed for it? Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, Esau's always changing. The scriptures say he's the forger of lies. You know, the fornicating lies since inception, birth coming out the womb, speaking lies. You know, so who knows? They're always shape shifting. You know, they're always switching something up. So, you know, one thing could be acceptable one day and the next thing is not. And now you exile from the world, you exile from the metaverse, you living in the wilderness, and you ain't gonna be saved because you got the damn charagma anyway. It's like Hitman. Remember that episode of Black Mirror with the dude who was the P and the other people as well who were who they had like basically they had dirt on the dude who had cheated on his wife and and the other people that they had dirt on as well. And remember at the end where basically they had during the episode they were getting all these people to do these certain things for this anonymous person, go and rob this bank, and the last one was fight to the death. Yeah.
Oh, he
and
kills.
yeah, and he killed, and the two people fight, and he kills that dude. And at the end, they end up telling the authorities or with that particular guy, the authorities, and with the man that cheated on his wife, they end up telling his wife anyway, and it's like
they
would get
secrets anyway.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because remember when the dude when he finishes, he gets the troll face.
Exactly. And his mom, what was his name? Andy or what the fuck?
His mom said,
I forgot his name, but he was because remember in the beginning we were like, why is this dude doing all this?
Yeah, he's just like, it's just because at first it's like he's just whacking off shit. Niggas do that shit sometimes.
Yeah.
He was walking off to that. Yeah,
Yeah. Y'all just gotta watch the episode because it was some weirdo shit by the end.
Crazy shit. But we were going to talk about as well the 24 theologians that are working with NASA to examine how how certain religions will react to these to the so-called alien invasion. Actually, we could briefly touch on it. So in terms of that right there,
but hold on,
yeah, go ahead.
Right quick too, with the whole 666 thing, bro. Hey man, 2022, we might see a glimpse of Michael, bro. That might be why they're sending that telescope up there, man. We might see a glimpse of Michael, bro.
Not even when it comes to the NASA and the telescope, but when the fact that in 2022 they're also pushing for the unification of a lot of religions as well. The One World of Religion headquarters is opening next year, called the Abrahamic Family House.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Like with the fact that they're trying to go into space now, and then we see all these charagma predictive programming going on, we might see Michael, man. That's probably why they're scared.
Yeah. And also as well, any report you look up any report on this, they always mention they hired 24 theologians. What's 2 + 4? That's 6.
Damn.
I mean, hey. Man, I mean, the shit is just right there in plain sight. But in terms of that right there, now being in the truth, we understand and we know, who the actual real alien, quote unquote aliens are, and what they're actually prepping to fight for. That war in heaven and whatnot is pertaining to Revelation the 12th chapter, the 7th verse, and also 2nd Ezra the 13th chapter, around the 4th verse on down to about around the 13th verse. We know that they're prepping for that war in heaven, but it seems interesting that especially for 2022 and beyond, they're really starting to push that. They're really trying to push and tie it in with religion, basically trying to tie it into the Bible and also tie it into the people that have been speaking about this in relation to the Bible, which is who? The Israelites. Honestly, to me, this sounds like some War on the Saints shit. If I'm being honest.
And also, just to add on another aspect with the number 24, it also represents a divine council. Because remember, when you read the book of Revelations, there's the 24 elders. And even in the left-hand aspect, I believe a lot of the pagan religions also have a council of 24 as well, but the number of 24 just represents a divine assembly. So they're letting you know they're essentially those 24 men who came together, they view themselves as gods with the lower G, as deities presiding over the people.
Facts, definitely. And also speaking on behalf of the people as well. So they could say anything and twist anything into, yes, this is what the people of my religion believe in, and this is the Christian belief on what or how we should handle, or how the country should handle a situation regarding an outside space attack. This is what the Christians and we believe our God will want us to do in regards to that. But see,
Yep.
in the
And
world right
they
now,
might not want that, but them not reading the Bible, that'll bite them in the eye.
exactly. And in the world right now, you know, the Christianity is still like the face of the Bible. You know, the Bible is tied to Christianity. You know, in terms of now, the truth is getting out there, is reaching different corners of the earth. But Christianity is still like the number one thing people think of when you think of the Bible. It's still the face of the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, but it's just what it is. So when they have that being the that kind of being the Christian take on how Christians would handle a certain situation regarding an alien invasion, if people that actually speak an opposite message from that, but are using the same religious book to back our stances that the Christian theologian is using, will be seen as the bad guys and the terrorists and the outcasts in the face of the world, which is gonna increase, which could be one of the tickets to 2 Ezra 16th chapter, where it goes to they shall cast them out of their homes. Basically them having tabs and tracks on everybody who identifies, because they track all of us, who identifies as a as they'll cast it as a quote unquote black Hebrew Israelite, who's a part of this hate group and this terrorist organization, and they'll say that we're twisting the scriptures to justify our stance because we're coming in an opposite message than what the Christian theologian elder is coming in.
Elders.
The church elders are coming in.
The Masonic church elders, yeah.
Exactly. The great church elders, Alexander and
they're standing on their square.
Luther and all that bullshit, man. We're coming in an opposite message from them, so we'll be casted as the people who are the terrorists, the hate group, who the ones who are twisting the scriptures, and the ones who are making death threats on America and this, that, and the third. Even though, but the way that they'll cast it in a way in which
it's all going to be
the Bible doesn't say.
It's going to be emotion based, bro. Because like, how can you're telling me God doesn't want this? Everybody to love each other? Is that what you're saying? Yes, that's what we're saying, bro.
Why are you making God to be so hate? You're just a hateful person. You're putting that on God.
And especially in this society where titles and titles carry a heavy respect. So you got someone coming in with the title of a church elder or an acclaimed reverend or an acclaimed theologian, acclaimed Christian apologist. They have more credo to speak on the Bible than just some nigga, as they would see us. There's some niggas on YouTube.
In a private jet with his Bible in his hand, bro. He's got way more authority than you.
Exactly. So who are you to speak anything against him when he's giving us the right message from God and you giving us a hate message? God isn't about hate. God loves everybody. God wants everyone to prosper. You're saying that God hates different nations of people. You're saying that God wants to destroy America. This is God's country. Why are you speaking like that?
That can't be God. Because why? They're going off emotions.
Exactly.
That's what's going to get them killed.
It's not based on the substance, based on how they feel, man.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be a tool right there to cast us out of our homes, to put us in these FEMA camps, to put us in concentration camps.
But that sounds, and it's twofold, because that sounds bad, that sounds depressing. But that's gonna be a beautiful day too, because that's how the Most High is working with you, man. He's dealing with you.
Hey, didn't it say in that same precept, said, "Then shall be known who am I chosen?"
Who am I chosen? Exactly.
So that's a beautiful, time period right there. It's gonna be known through that process of being ostracized, through that process of being associated with a terrorist group or a hate group that's actually speaking the reality and the truth of what the Bible is actually saying, and being associated with that, it shows that hey, the Most High is dealing with you on a higher level, and you know you on the direct path of being of the elected and ultimately being saved up out of here. But I find it interesting how you know NASA has hired these 24 theologians to basically be like the gatekeepers and the final say of what the scriptures say, how the scriptures describe we should deal, or Christians, or you know people who believe in the Bible should deal with some kind of alien invasion, showing you that they understand and they know what's coming. Why would they even be concerned with this if they didn't see it as a threat? Why would they even be concerned with this? Go ahead.
Well, I thought there was no higher power. Why are you so concerned with this whole religion thing now? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I thought we were our own gods. Why do we need these
Exactly.
guys to talk about God for us?
You know, I thought God is you are your own God. You know, God is within you. You know, all that shit that people say, you know, right now, you know, my truth. You know, all
Sun
of that.
gaze, you know what I mean?
Gazer.
Gazer.
Oh, that's well, whatever. And that's actually another thing that just to mention it real quick that brothers got to watch out for in 2022. The rise of a lot of witchcraft and the esoteric, man. Have y'all seen that one Tinder commercial? With like, it's like the one female and she's like in like the lowest position, like doing some type of mantra or chant or whatever. Have y'all noticed that a lot?
Are you talking about that dating commercial where it had the picture of Satan?
No, not that one. That's a completely different commercial.
I think I know what you're talking about. You talking about the bitch that was doing yoga?
Yeah, she was like doing yoga and she had the candles. She's like, oh, I have to find my inner peace and blah 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 blah. And but it was a Tinder commercial, so it's like, what the fuck does this have anything to do with this? You know what I'm saying? Even what you mentioned about the devil shit, what the hell does that have to do with dating? But just y'all brothers just got to be aware they're gonna be more overt with the left hand path worship in these commercials, man. In these and even in music videos as well. Especially like niggas like do you see that one song by Little Uzi Vert? I think it was called like Satan School or something crazy like that.
I've never seen that.
I never seen that.
I don't really be listening to him anymore, but like I just saw it one time while glancing over YouTube where it was like literally the concept of a video was like a Luciferian school or like satanic school or some crazy shit like that, bro.
I think you might be. Oh, Demon High. Oh yeah.
Demon High, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Demon High, Satan School. Close enough, man. Close enough, bro. But you know what I'm saying? Like they're getting more blatant with that shit, bro. They don't even care.
And you know what? Again, like, you know, it's bad, but at the same time, dude, I'm looking at the good aspect of it because when I see shit like that, I'm laughing. And I'm looking at around at, you know, the people in my life around me. I'm looking at them and seeing how they're reacting to it because, you know, you got a lot of black people, you know, they like to put on this false image of, you know, believing in God and, you know, God, I talked to God, man. And, you know what I'm saying, bro? I talked to God and he said this and he helped me. And sometimes I pray.
God bless you, son. I'm going to pray for you. All that.
Yeah, exactly. Some shit like that. And, you know, you look at these commercials and you look at what's going on in the world and you're just kind of looking at them like, damn, so you're not really questioning nothing. You're just kind of going along for the ride, huh? All right, say less. You feel me? Like, I just like that because it makes a natural separation, you know, a natural bridge. It's like, all right, you on that, I'm on this, bro. I'm not messing with anything in this society.
And to think about it as well, Lil Uzi Vert, one of the celebrities one of the celebrities they used to promote the Neuralink as well. Remember when he got that diamond in his forehead?
Yeah.
And Elon, I think they even gave him a star too, bro. They gave him a star with his name.
They did. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's wild.
Any of y'all brothers who don't know about MK Ultra, that's the most blatant acid I've ever seen. Him and that dude 6ix9ine, bro. Like that dude was a trippy red too. In fact, honestly, all these new niggas, they don't even try to hide anymore. But the fact that they're programmed, bro, it's crazy.
YNW Melly.
Oh my
Even
god.
that nigga XXX before he got shot up.
Yep.
That nigga Lil Peep before he died.
And don't be surprised to see these celebrities, these rappers, these athletes, and whatnot. That's another thing that's going to happen in 2022 and beyond. Now they've been doing it, but they're gonna start getting more overt with some of their allegiances. Don't be surprised to start seeing that more in 2022 and beyond as well. These athletes and these entertainers get more obvious with who they actually worship and what side they actually are on, and try to promote that as being like the way and the positive aspects of that by showing the lavish lifestyle, by showing the things that they've accomplished, by basically getting people to in the mindset of, yeah, this is what I am, this is what I'm a part of, but it's not that bad, it's not that big of a deal.
I mean, people like they're just gonna be blatant with it. They're already kind of blatant with it already, bro. It's like, bro, they worship the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? They gonna ride with that, and the GOAT represents, having fun, doing whatever you feel like, bro. It's not gonna be too hard for people to get along with that. You know what I'm saying? People are already getting along with it. We only have a couple more years till we really just see like majority of people just overtly saying that, yeah, they rock with that GOAT shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I mean, it's just a matter of time, honestly. And the more they promote it, the more people are going to be accustomed with it. Because they got to promote it, outwardly and openly more and more and more. It's kind of like a predictive programming measure. Promote it more and more and more to get people okay with the concept of it. Because if they don't, then and it sounds so foreign to people that people get along with and they ingratiate themselves with something that is comfortable to them. If it doesn't seem comfortable because they haven't heard of it in mass before, they'll just block it off right then and there without even wanting to know more about it. But when you promote it to someone, you tell them that this is the way over and over and over again, or you just show the concept in a positive light, then that gets people more accustomed with it. It gets them, they get more comfortable with it within their psyche and their conscience, and then they're more willing to actually follow it and follow certain tenets of it. So you're definitely gonna start seeing that more.
Exactly. And for you, the brothers who aren't aware of the concept of predictive programming, and you think that's a conspiracy, no, brother, that shit is real, and that's what
100% real.
what Swint just detailed is exactly why the concept of predictive programming exists in movies and TVs, because it's a way for your mind to subconsciously be able to accept certain ideas that if otherwise you would just reject it outrightly, because you'd be like, what the fuck? No, I'm not doing this. No. But since it's been embedded in your mind, you believe it's something that's possible. That's something that can naturally happen, as opposed to being manufactured. Like, for example, why do you think in movies like remember the Planet of the Apes movies, there was this disease, it was killing everybody, and it ended up going worldwide, or even the concept of a worldwide disease killing a lot of the population, that's been promoted in movies, so it's already in your head. If a lot of the movies didn't exist, and a lot of these narratives didn't exist through media and TV, it would make people question more what's going on. But now that it's been embedded subconsciously in their head, they think it's something that can just naturally happen, and they won't question whether or not is this something that really naturally occurred, or has this been manufactured. That's the purpose of predictive programming.
Exactly.
Also, with the Planet of the Apes thing, who is the humans versus the apes? You know what I mean? So some might say the apes represent the elect coming back, and during those times, and the humans, they down here, they pretty much won't even be humans anymore by that time.
They'll be like more machine than man by that point, man.
I mean, they're going to be the same as these new robo soldiers and these I was joking, say these soldiers that have been training in the depths of Russia and Ukraine for the last 20 years for an event, to be basically to be mind controlled killers, to go to be deployed to these certain countries, when they really want to bring in martial law and or mass curfews and certain things like that. And they pretty much don't have a mind of their own. They just kind of, perform at will the orders that are being given to them. I mean, I joke around about it, other brothers do as well, but like that's really what's finna happen. We're finna really have robo fucking soldiers, and mind, and also being mind controlled, subjects that have been training and being programmed and to be psycho killers for years and years and years and years and years. These so-called UN soldiers, they're not just gonna be. You think these UN soldiers are gonna be regular fucking people?
Bro, come on. Do we have MK Ultra athletes? Come on, bro. Come on.
You think that 12 on the block is gonna be, gonna be in charge of martial law? Come on, bro.
Hell no. I mean, you got to remember too, once you join the military, you belong to them. They can do whatever the hell they want with you. Whether you know it or not, you might not even know you became a robot overnight.
Exactly. You get so
you just wake up one day and all of a sudden you can shoot.
Especially with some of these underground cities that they go to, especially you get out there in Colorado and Arizona and whatnot. Some of these underground military forts that these people be visiting. Who knows what kind of electroshock therapy and sleep deprivation and food deprivation and RAPE type shit that's going on out there to put these people in such a state of mind control subjugation. These soldiers, they come out, they're super soldiers, man. They train killers. That's who's gonna be governing the streets during martial law time, not your damn high school police. But with that, I think we pretty much wrapped up everything we want to speak on. Any closing statements that y'all brothers have?
Yeah, it's been a while since I brought this up, so I'm, go to the usual closing statement. Hey, brothers, the most important thing, honestly, in this lifetime that we have is the scriptures, man. That's our manual. That's literally the love letter that the Most High gave to us. That's why they have certain books, especially like Song of Solomon, how it notates the woman being Israel and the man being Yahweh Shai, our Savior. And even the scriptures, that's the letter that was written to us. It was written for our love, meaning what? It has certain laws, statutes, and commandments. It has certain history, certain wise, dark sayings that are going to be able to help us grow and learn and change and become the best version of ourselves. So when you take the time, me personally, I always suggest get the 1611, read from beginning to end, take the time to research words, definitions, and really invest your spirit in the scriptures. Then all the other gifts that you have, or even some of the gifts that you didn't have initially and the Most High blesses you on later in life, you'll be able to maximize it. Even Christ himself said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all these things are going to be added onto you. So you're not going to have to worry about anything else once you put the scriptures first and foremost. And if you want to be a man who's of the hopeful elect, maybe of the hopeful 144,000 of the hopeful priesthood under Yahweh Shai, under that order of Melchizedek, you have to read the scriptures. You have to, be well versed in not even just understanding the scriptures, but of the left hand and of other aspects, like our forefathers of old. Like, for example, Solomon. It even tells you in Wisdom of Solomon that he was an expert in plant life, in animals, and the movement of the stars, and the nature of people, and in all things, he was had great wisdom. Even Christ himself, being that physical manifestation of the wisdom of the Most High, and us, as men are supposed to reflect that nature, that divine light, that divine spirit that Christ had. So it's very important to, from my perspective, to really read the scriptures, because I think that's an aspect that a lot of brothers need to really hone on. It's important to understand, certain things that are going on around you as well. And there's nothing wrong with listening to the videos that we make, the videos that other brothers make, but don't use that as a substitute for the actual scriptures. It's supposed to be a supplement. I mean, if you a nigga who've been listening to videos from camps for a year and you still in Genesis, You fucking up, bro. What the fuck you doing?
That's facts.
That means you're not basing your understanding on the scriptures. You're basing it on what somebody else is telling you. Now, that doesn't mean you speed read the Bible because you just want to finish it and you want to just rush into that understanding. You have to take the time to ingest the words of the scriptures. Some people are able to ingest the words of the scripture faster than others, but again, it's not about vain competition. It's not about I can finish this faster so I can go out and teach. At the end of the day, your personal understanding and your personal edification and your personal growth is what's going to save you. You going out and performing acts and signs, that's not what's going to save you in this time. So it's very important for you to truly understand what you're doing, because even in the scriptures, when it talks about the 144,000, it mentions how they're virgins. It mentions how they follow the Lamb. And how can you follow the Lamb? By reading the word and having an understanding of the word. Again, in the scriptures, it tells us that Christ came in the volume of the books. So what does that mean? To understand Christ and to understand salvation truly, you have to read the entire volume of the book. And then I just want to read one precept, and then I'll close. This is Revelations, the 14th chapter, verse 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And that means their minds. Continuing on, and I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it was a new song before the throne, and before the four beasts, and the elders. And no man can learn that song, but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits of the Most High, unto the Most High and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High. Now again, when it's talking about the men of the Lord, the 144,000, not being defiled with women, again, it's not talking about physical women. It's talking about spiritual women, meaning what? The woman in this case is society, like whatever society you're in. You're not defiled by the teachings of that society. That's why when you read Revelations, I believe it's the maybe the 18th or 19th chapter. No, the 17th chapter, where it goes into the no. It has to be the I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but where it goes into describing the whore who sits upon the many waters, who's riding the beast. Yeah, it's the 19th chapter. That great whore is a woman, and that great whore, like the angel tells you, is likened to a nation. So when it's talking about not being defiled by women, it's talking about not being defiled by the heathen nations and their philosophies and doctrines. You have to follow the Lamb, that Lamb being Christ. And the only way to not be defiled is you have to read the scriptures, not just once, not just twice, not just three times, continually. You have to continually renew your mind and your spirit and continue to progress and grow and get a better understanding. That's why even, for example, Christ likens, the wisdom to living water or flowing water. It's constantly moving. And that's how your faith and your understanding has to be. It has to be constantly growing and expanding. And I can speak for myself, and I'm sure the other brothers feel the same way. I've grown tremendously from the beginning of 2021 until the end. My understanding is not even comparable. And honestly, I want it to be like that always. I want it to be from 1 year to the next, 1 month to the next. My understanding is on a completely new level than it was previously. And that's how you're able to build up your faith, man. Because once you have your understanding down pat, that's when you truly have faith.
Cool.
It's not about being a follower of what other people tell you. It's not about, oh, this person told me this today. This is now I believe this. It's about you having understanding for yourself. You have to be your own pastor. You have to be your own high priest. You have to be able to teach yourself, man.
Absolutely. Great points, brother. Great points.
For the closing statements, that was good. And also I wanted to the verse he brought up in Revelations where he was talking about they weren't defiled by women. It's talking about the different doctrines, but it also goes into that mother goddess worship as well, man. A lot of these folks, they worship these various mother goddess figures. Inanna, Ashtoreth, or whatever the hell, all these pagan deities. And a lot of brothers don't even know that, you got a Bible in your hand, and you could have a Bible in your hand and be worshiping a pagan deity. You wouldn't even know it, because just like D-Ben said, you're not reading the scriptures. You don't really have a full understanding of what you're reading. You know what I'm saying? Because you're getting doctrines from different camps. No, man, you sit down and you read it for yourself, and you get the understanding. You do different research, and you learn about the left hand path, because that's when, because the big thing I've noticed too is once you learn about the left hand path, any little thing that a brother talks about the scriptures, if he puts any little pagan aspect in it, and you could just chip at it, it might be a tiny little thing. You can chip at it, and it'll be exposed, and it'll go full circle back to the paganism and back to the left hand side. So, that's why it's very important to, do your research and always continue to grow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For me, for real quick, for me, I just want to give like my own personal testimony, because I've been in this thing for a minute, and you can, like, for me, I have gotten complacent before, and you don't want to do that, bro. Like, because you get caught up in waiting on the Most High, and it's like, nah, bro, you just gotta keep learning. You just gotta keep upgrading, and the Most High blessed me with a group of brothers that I could learn and get better with. So it's a beautiful thing. And with my closing statements, it's just kind of like the title says, bro. 2022, man. All roads lead to the chip. So let's get down and lay down. You feel me?
God, absolutely great points as well, brother. But D-Ben, you said you wanted to say something as well.
Yeah, the only other thing I was going to mention, just to bounce off JT's excellent point when it comes to brothers basically having a grounded understanding for yourself and not being caught up in any little doctrine. It's very important to understand the left-hand path, because comparing the right and the left, even though they seem so similar, when you're very experienced and you understand certain doctrines, that shit is like oil and water. You just see it, and it's like, no, this shit can't mix. It doesn't make any sense. And it helps you make a complete distinction between what's actually scriptural and what you should be practicing, as opposed to what's not scriptural. And the thing that I've noticed when it comes to aspects that brothers want to purport to be scriptural but are really left-hand doctrines, that's usually where the excessive zeal and fervor comes in. The righteousness. Normally, when it's a doctrine that is not fully rooted in the scriptures, that's where the over righteousness comes in. You fully understand the scriptures, you understand what you're doing, and it's right based on the scriptures. There's not going to be a zeal to it. You're just going to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be something where you got to be like rah rah rah, and if you're not doing this, then you a bitch, or you know what? The Most High is the Most High is seeing my fervor. At the end of the day, we have to remember the Most High is a father figure, and even when you were living at home, when your father told you to do something, he didn't want you to be all rah rah about it. Just do it, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Just do. I told you to do that shit. Just do it, nigga. It's that simple.
And then the Most High say to obey is better than the sacrifice.
Exactly. So, nigga, just I told you to do it. Just do it.
Yep.
I don't need all these extra, basically the fake flowers that you give me. I told you to do it. You did your job. Good. Move on to the next task.
And oftentimes as well, when brothers are trying to do that, or they're caught up in the spirit of doing that, it really isn't to be righteous in the eyes of the Most High, but because they're trying to establish their own righteousness at the behest of other men, which is where you see brothers say, certain things coming out about brothers where brothers are blatantly on YouTube telling niggas that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has a man on the earth to be worshipped. I mean, you outwardly got that going on right now. I mean, that's not scriptural at all, but you have men on YouTube who are teaching that doctrine. And like I said, it's not to appear righteous before Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It's to establish their own righteousness so that men can actually fall under them, worship them, and prop them up. That way, because it's like, when you always propping yourself up, it seems lame. It seems forced. But when other men are propping you up, it seems like damn, this is that nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Where does it say that you're supposed to be brainwashed in the truth? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I got a quick precept. This is the book of Romans, the 10th chapter and the first verse. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer for it says, brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. For they, being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of the Most High. So that's the thing right there. You know, brothers who they have great zeal, they have great fervor. But zeal is great. Zeal also is important as well. You have to have a level of. I always mention this when I mention this point because I don't never want to diminish this too much. It's important to have zeal. You have to have zeal. A healthy balance of zeal is 100% necessary to be in this truth because there's going to come up a certain time period, and especially in the time we detailed in this whole live stream. This whole conversation was about the last days in 2022 and beyond, in some of the more prophetic aspects of things that are going to be happening in the immediate and the far out future, in regards to the way this world is headed into. You got to have strong zeal towards the Most High to be able to consistently over and over and over again say no. They always say there's a phrase in the world, you can't say no every time. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. In certain aspects, you are going. Not only can you, but you're gonna have to if you want to be saved. If you want to be saved, every time that Quran was offered to you, you're gonna have to say no every single time, or you're not gonna get saved. So yes, you can say no every time.
Exactly. You gotta be able to be put your guard up at all times. Like I'll give a story for myself about the Karagma, or not even Karagma, about the juice. I remember when I was working a sales job for lunch. I'm just eating lunch, and the lady just runs up to me, "Hey, well, we have only one vaccination left, or the juice left. we're just trying to get rid of it. Have you been juiced up yet?" And I said, I told her straight up, I just said, "I'm good." She's like, "Oh, so you've been juiced up?" I was just like, "I'm good." Yeah. She's like, "Yeah, okay," because I'm not trying to lie straight up. So I just said, "I'm good." So basically, like, leave me alone. It doesn't matter if I've taken it or not. I'm not going to do it though. And exactly. That's what you got to be when it comes to the situation. You don't got to be disrespectful. You don't got to curse the person up, but you just got to put up a wall and let them know, look, whatever you're selling, I'm not going to buy it. Mm-hmm. Whatever you're trying to convince me to do, go bother someone else because you're wasting my time. I'm not going to do it. Okay.
Yep. Exactly. You gotta let them know there's people out there that's really gonna stand for that shit, bro. They're not just talking. When the day comes, they're gonna really be about that shit.
And that takes strong zeal, bro. It takes strong zeal to consistently deny that aspect of yourself over and over and over again, especially when the other side of it seems bleaker. When going out in the wilderness or being in a FEMA camp or being faced with that, they lining you up, the super robo soldiers are bringing you out of your cell to put you under that guillotine. That seems more bleak from the outside looking in, from an average person's perspective. That seems more bleak than to ingratiate yourself with society and take the Karagba and live in the quote unquote free world.
I was about to say, I'm glad you said from an average person, because you know what I'm saying? I'm sure from a lot of brothers in this truth, in this knowledge perspective, hey man, anything is better than being in a world with them elemental PQs. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's not bleak at all to me.
Exactly. And the scriptures even tell us, the scriptures give us comforting words in 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, that tell us if we got to die, for the name of Yahushua, if we got to be one of them brothers that just may be the lot the Most High got for us. The scriptures even tell us that we're gonna be one of the first ones raised up, man. We're gonna rise up first. That's comforting words right there.
And also, if brothers are afraid of that, or scared of that, man, when I heard that, I just looked at it like this instantly. It's like, hey man, Yahushua, he died for me. You know what I'm saying? So why can't I do the same if I need to? You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, it's easier said than done, but that's the mindset you should be in when it comes to that.
And especially if you claim to, because in order to be especially if you want to be a brother that's 144,000, and you want to be set on that priesthood, that judge, that God level in the kingdom, then you got to have love for your nation. You got to have sincere love for your nation. And the scriptures even say, these are the words of Yahweh Shah himself. Just roughly paraphrasing. No man have. I don't even want to paraphrase the words of Yahweh Shah. Let me. I'm just gonna go ahead and get it. I ain't gonna do Yahweh Shah like that, man.
The level, and also, brothers should understand. You being in this truth, you should understand that, dude. I one of the first things you should get is that, dude, I might die for this. You know what I'm saying? I could die being in this. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I'm saying. Just like our forefathers, they were beheaded.
Not a game.
Were thrown in prison. Even, for example, the Apostle John, who was banished on the Isle of Patmos. Before that happened, they threw him in a pot of boiling water, and he lived that. And it's because he lived, then he was banished. Yeah. So all the brothers had to go through persecutions, and even like after the fact, if you brothers want to delve into the history, you can read a book. It's called Fox's Book of Martyrs, and it goes through the detail. Now, a lot of those people, unfortunately, died for a delusion because they were caught up in the a lot of the movements that happened after the Catholic Church. That's a whole another story. But the sentiment's still the same. That's going to happen to a lot of brothers in our time period as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I know all the apostles' deaths is not revealed, in the scriptures, but we have a few. One being James. You can read about that in Acts the 12th chapter. Now James had to die for the truth. A lot. Paul being sentenced to prison over and over again. It happens, man.
Even John the Baptist.
John the Baptist as well got beheaded. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'll say this too. I want to get this out there. A lot of brothers, I feel like when they hear things like that, I feel like they go out of their way, to try to prove that the Most High is dealing with them by putting themselves in situations where they could have avoided that. You see what I'm saying?
Give me the book of Acts.
Yeah, exactly. So we gotta be careful with.
It's not about being rah and being overly confrontational. Because when you understand the scriptures, that time of persecution is going to come. So you need to force it, honestly, just to express your narcissism, which a lot of brothers are. That's what really they're out and about for to just basically to get attention for themselves. It's unfortunate, but it's a whole other story, man.
But this is that precept as well that I was getting at, going to the love for your nation. You know what I'm saying? That you gotta have. And these are the words of Yahweh Shah, relating the love and death. This is John 15:13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Like Hitman was saying, didn't Yahweh Shah do that for us? And it tells you also in John the 15th chapter and the 14th verse, ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you. So if we do the commandments of the Father, which is the same as what Yahweh Shah commanded, it's the same thing. If we keep the law, statutes, commandments, have faith in the Lamb, then we're friends with Yahweh Shah. So that means He died for us. So in the same token, if we claim we love our nation, we say we want to rule. We say we want to rule in righteousness. We say we want to have the heathen in subjection. We say that we want to walk with Yahweh Shah. If it comes to that, man, we got to be willing to put our lives down for our nation, man. If we say that we love Israel, we say that we want to rule in the kingdom. We say that we tired of being in this state. We say we have brotherly love. In these last days, man, a lot of talk is going to get tested. A lot of talk is going to get tested in these last days,
sir.
A lot of talk is going to get tested.
Put your money where your mouth is, nigga.
Yes, sir.
Hope you got a strong 10 too. Shit.
Man, facts.
A lot of y'all niggas gonna get knocked the fuck out like some bitches, man. All that rah-rah, all that fiery shit, you gonna learn when that shit happens. You gonna get knocked the fuck out, nigga.
It's got to be rooted in something, bro. Like all that bravado and I'm on fire. All that bravado that don't mean shit, man. That don't mean
Dope.
shit if it's not rooted in nothing, bro. And you know what? You may be a brother who you have that bravado and you are rooted in truth. You know what? That just may be your personality. That just may be your style. But if you are a brother who is more outspoken, rah, always bragging about how on fire you are, but it's for show. And going back to go back to Romans, the 10th chapter and the 12th verse. It's not, it's not out of righteousness. It's done. Let me go get the exact wordage. It's done. It's not done to it's done not done for the righteousness of the Most High, but it's done to establish your own righteousness. That's going to get revealed in these last days. Because you know what's associated with things like that? Jealousy. You know what's associated with things like that? Fake love. And you know what? Those two traits right there ain't going to stand the test of time. When times get hard and when things get rough, zeal and well, let me not say zeal, fake zeal and fake bravado that's not gonna be enough to keep you stable and establish you, man. That's not gonna be enough to keep you fighting, man. In order to keep fighting when you low on food, in order to keep fighting when you 2 seconds away from getting your head chopped off in the guillotine, you gotta really believe that this is the way, the truth, and the life, man. You gotta really believe this is the only way, and you gotta truly actually resonate with this, man. Not just use it as a front to prop yourself up. Not just use it as a front to gain some celebrity status that you couldn't gain in the world being a rapper, man. That you couldn't gain in the world being a damn athlete or an actor, man. Some brothers use this truth just to gain clout because they couldn't gain that clout in the world.
God.
You know, that's not gonna stand the test of time, man. That's not gonna stand Jacob's trouble. That's not gonna stand famine. That's not gonna stand the metaverse. It ain't gonna stand the damn Karagma being on the scene, man.
Who you gonna rebuke when everybody ain't got no food? You gonna rebuke people then? You gonna rebuke people then? Huh? You might get your ass eaten, boy. I'm just being real, like, cause, bro, I'm a real quiet dude. Like I'm just coming in this truth. Like it's a certain level of humility because you know how serious this is, and I'm just being real with you, bro. One of these days, you might be out there and a white boy just punch you in your face. You know what I'm saying? Like that might happen. And you might forget about Yahweh altogether after that one punch, bro. You know what I mean?
Like, you know what? Ultimately, that's gonna be the Lord's judgment on you. If that's the path that you're walking. Because the Most High reveals all and he sees all. You can't hide nothing from the Lord, man. The Lord's eyes are in every place, as it says, I believe that's Proverbs, the 24th chapter. The Lord's eyes are beholding every place under the sun, man. You know, so he sees the heart. He sees the true heart of people. You can fool men. You can fool men for a period of time. You know, now all things eventually get revealed, but you can fool men for a particular period of time. You know, you can deceive men. You can give men a false persona for a particular period of time, but you can never give a false persona to the Most High. And you know, and if you too caught up in your own pride to realize that, rather than to repent, to make some changes to your lifestyle, to take some time to yourself and really analyze and think, why do you actually do the things that you do? Self-actualize. Shout out to King Ref. Self-actualize and get to the bottom of your issues. You know, and then start the process of becoming a new man. If you're too prideful to go through that experience, that tough experience that all of us brothers got to go through, that tough experience that it actually is, then you know what? That judgment that JT just mentioned right there, that's what's gonna happen to you. Didn't the Most High say he gonna send a strong delusion? That's a strong delusion right there. You get punched in the face by an Edomite and forget about the Most High. That's a strong ass delusion, man.
And real quick too, I like to equate it to, a lot of these niggas act like it's on some black woman shit, bro. Like real talk, like, right? We understand the reason they be the black female, they be so rah is because they know Esau got their back. And I'm telling you, when I see these dudes on the side of the street, they kicking down the Quran, they slapping the Quran, and I'm like, bruh, you know damn well you wouldn't do that if you was over there in Yemen. In Yemen, they got slaves, black slaves right now. Your ass would be one of them.
Yes, sir.
You use a lot of wisdom in discernment.
In Yemen, you get jumped by niggas. They work you out.
Exactly.
You would use a lot of wisdom in the sermon then, but now because you in the States, you feel real tough right now.
Yeah, you want to act like a bitch.
Yeah,
And,
that's cool,
I just wanted to bring one precept up. This is Sirach, the 2nd chapter, verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Meaning what? Like our faith, and it's alluded to this all throughout the scripture. Our faith is tried through fire. That fire being the life experiences we have, the ups and downs, us reading the scriptures and getting a better understanding, us being tempted by the devil, and sometimes falling, but other times overcoming that temptation. That's all a part of being tried. But in order to grow, man, that takes self-awareness and that takes accountability. Sometimes in life, you have to be honest with yourself, man. Like I remember when I first started reading the scriptures, like it got to the point where I was like, damn, I don't know anything. I'm basically a fucking loser. I need to change myself, man. Because like the way I was living before, it was cool, it was fun, but like now that I understand how I'm supposed to be living and conducting myself, I'm not living like a king or like a ruler. I'm living like a loser right now. I got to change my ways, man. I got to change my mindset. I got to focus on things that are productive and not destructive. I have to, basically work on becoming a man. And that's the ultimate gift that the scriptures gives that unfortunately this society has really taken from us in the concept of, because I love my dad. And I'm sure all you brothers love your fathers, but I'm just, be honest, they really don't teach much. It's no disrespect to them. You love them. Like they do teach you, wise sayings and things like that. But in terms of like things on a macrocosmic 3-dimensional level, understanding society fully, even understanding how the woman is in this modern day incarnation, understanding how to be successful in this modern day incarnation, they can't really teach you things on that level. It's not really until you read the scriptures and you get the word of the Heavenly Father where you can have that understanding to really elevate yourself as a man. Because unfortunately, most men have their balls clipped in this society, so their brain doesn't even function on that level, unfortunately.
And I want to touch on the aspect that you brought up earlier about examining yourself and about having to be honest with yourself. And a lot of brothers oftentimes, and we're all guilty of this at times, to escape examining ourselves. Sometimes we can want to be overly analytical of someone else. And you gotta, if you in that spirit as a brother, man, you gotta rebuke yourself out of that spirit, man. You gotta actually do some you gotta take some time to yourself. Realize, dig deep and see why it is that you do the things that you do. What are some things going on in your life right now and earlier on in your life that are affecting you today, and see why it is that you pattern your life in that way. And this is the book of Sirach, chapter 11 and verse 7. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first and then rebuke. You got to understand the truth before you rebuke, man. The main truth you got to understand is the truth about yourself. Main truth you got to understand is the truth about you. Who are you? What do you? What is it? All of our righteousness is filthy rags. What is the filthy rag? What makes you a filthy rag? That's humbling right there. What makes you a filthy rag, man? What makes you a filthy rag? I gotta ask myself that. The brothers on the panel, all you brothers, man. What makes me a filthy rag? What is it I do on a consistent basis that's displeasing to the Most High? What is it I do that's displeasing to myself, man? Am I treating myself with utmost respect for my actions, man? Do I show myself the most love I possibly can by disciplining myself? Those are questions we got to ask ourselves, man. Because every time that we every time that we engage in a certain in something along those lines, man, we're being a filthy rag, whether we like it or not. Now, it doesn't mean we can't get. That don't mean we can't get salvation. You know what I'm saying? We all sin and fall short, and the Most High is merciful and forgiveth the multitude of sins. We all know that, as the scriptures say it. But we all have filthy rag qualities. So in having filthy rag qualities, we gotta examine ourselves first, and then we can properly analyze what's going on. with other brothers and around us, certain things of that nature. But you can't even get to a proper understanding of all that until you understand yourself. You got to understand yourself to really understand the prophecies in the world, man. Because you got to understand how you will react in terms of that, man. Because if you don't understand how you will react to certain societal changes, man, you unstable, and you will if something changes and shifts in a direction that sounds suitable to your ears, it sounds suitable to you at the time being, man, you'll switch up on the Most High. You'll switch up on the Most High, man. So that's why we got to examine ourselves constantly and try to kill what filthy rag, I'll say not cleanse what filthy rag qualities we have about ourselves before the day of judgment, man. Because don't we want to be found as those precious brides when the bridegroom returns? Don't the scriptures say, make yourself ready to the bridegroom? How do you make yourself ready to the bridegroom, man? It starts with self-examination. It starts with analyzing what we do that's off. And it's something that I got to do more of. All of us brothers, man. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. We all have to actively participate in that action, because at the end of the day, as the scripture said, and us brothers, we go into this a lot. You ain't gonna be walking through the kingdom with your apostles and elders, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be walking through the kingdom with your brothers, man. No, Lord will you all
make it on the other side, hopefully.
yeah, you wake up on the other side, yeah. But you gotta walk, you gotta sit at that judgment seat by yourself, man. And the Most High gonna strip you. He gonna have a mirror talk with you, man. He gonna strip you down to nothing. This is you right here. And now,
exactly.
even though this is you, I can still find you worthy to take place in my kingdom and to be of my elect. I can still find you worthy to be so, because that's the thing right now is the concept of works. Now, because you're reading it, like a lot of Christians, misconstrue this. It tells you in Ephesians, the 2nd chapter, I think about the 8th verse, that we're saved by faith and not by works, which is true. We are saved by faith and not works. Our works is not going to save us. But what do we have to do something to be found acceptable to the Most High? Because we got a whole lifelong, we got a whole a list of sin, man. We got a whole lifelong list of sin. So you bet it's in your best interest to try to do something to counteract that, don't you think?
That's
exactly. And again, it even tells you in the scriptures that how do you demonstrate your faith? Through what you do, by your works, meaning what? Keeping the law. That's the work.
Exactly.
That's the work. And if you brothers are working on improving the law, you're doing work. And I'm just saying that to let you brothers know. Don't let somebody tell you that you're not serious about the scriptures because you're not on the street teaching.
Oh no, Debo, you got it mistaken, bro. That's for the prophets. You're not on the prophets.
Whatever, nigga. Like I said, don't let somebody tell you because you're not doing something outward that everybody else can see, because that's all that being on the street or even making videos about is some things other people can see. Don't let somebody convince you that because you're not doing that your faith isn't good enough, you're not taking it seriously enough. Because at the end of the day, it's between you and the Most High, and who are they to dictate to you how you live your life? As long as you keep the laws of the Most High to the best of your ability, and of course you for those of you brothers who are good fathers, or your fathers, you're a good father, you're a good son, a good husband, just a good person overall. Not good in the sense of the society, but good in the sense of understanding the law, statutes, commandments. That's all that matters. Everything else will come naturally. If you're meant to go out and teach and preach, it'll come naturally. If you're meant to make videos and do that shit, it'll come naturally, man.
Exactly. The Most High will put, the Most High, this thing about the Most High right here, a lot of people like to say, a lot of people like to go into the fact that, a lot of people like to play this pick and choose again. Who is the Most High working with more? Brother.
You don't fuck with none of us.
That's such a silly question to ask in this time period. No. I want to preface what I'm saying. Now we understand and we understand and know that in this time period, you are gonna have a 1/3 of Israel and you're gonna have a 2/3 of Israel. Ultimately, the 2/3 of Israel, the Most High really wasn't fucking with them at all. They weren't chosen to get it. It is what it is. Hey, and I say that in hopes that all of us brothers are of that 1/3, because we don't know if we are or not. I say that in hopes. I say that in hopes and that the Most High finds mercy on us. But even within the 1/3 as well, you got a lot of people within the 1/3 or who in the hopeful 1/3 who try to play this whole who the Most High is dealing with more game. If the Most High is dealing with my camp more than the other camps, Most High is dealing with my group more than the other groups. I look at it like this: if you believe that the Most High is dealing with just you and your group, then your group will make up the whole 1/3. Your group will make up the whole 144,000.
So your group is perfect.
Your group is perfect in all ways. Your group is blameless in all ways. Right now, before we get changed, if the Most High is only dealing with your group, because if you think the Most High is only dealing with your group and your congregation, then you must already know that you are the elect. Because the only way we're going to know who exactly the Most High is dealing with is once we get them changed bodies. That's going to signify who made it and who didn't when we get them changed bodies. We get risen up on the chariots, we get changed, that's who's going to determine who made it and who didn't. So the fact that you saying that, this, that, and the third, my group's this, my group's that signifies to me that you must think that you already made it. So I ask you, brother, what's your changed body? Why are you still, in the same body you was 20 years ago? Why you still got, stains on your teeth? Why you still got, markings on your flesh? Why you still got infirmities? I'm not saying those things to make fun of brothers, because we all have, quote unquote imperfections of some sort. I'm just saying that to state that we all, you're in flesh.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the act of being in flesh shows you not, or in sinful flesh. The act of being in sinful and imperfect flesh. The act of being in simple and imperfect flesh shows you don't have a changed body yet, which means you don't know if the Most High is only dealing with you and your group. You don't know who the Most High is dealing with. You don't know who the Most High is not dealing with. Ultimately, we gotta wait. We gotta wait for that time period. But and the Most High keeps us in that state to keep us humble. I like to use this phrase a lot. When I'm thinking of whatnot, we don't know who we are yet. And what I mean by that is us brothers. I've come across so many astute brothers in this truth and in this knowledge. But the Most High limits us from being able to realize who we really are. Man, some of us are going to be gods in the kingdom. Some of us are going to be judges and gods and kings and rulers, man. But the Most High doesn't allow us to 100% tap into that just yet, because then we wouldn't be humble no more. If you knew that you was going to be a god in the kingdom, would you be humble? No.
Nope.
No. You wouldn't be focused on serving the Most High. You wouldn't have what the Most High said. He said he wants a broken and contrite spirit and heart, man. You wouldn't have a broken and contrite heart if you knew you was going to be a god in the kingdom. But the Most High keeps us from actually realizing, our, for lack of a better word, our full potential per se, or who we really are per se. Because I look at it like this: people, they look at people and they have a thought and they have an opinion, but you may not really realize that in its fullest. To a lot of people in the world, we come off as, they may think behind closed doors, wow, this brother has such wisdom and understanding that nobody else has. Which that's not true. There's plenty of brothers that do, but from their perspective, because they're speaking from their perspective as just someone who just operates within the confines of Babylon, mentally and spiritually, you appear to them on a much higher level, but you don't realize that fully. And that's a blessing from the Most High right there. Because if you did realize that fully with every worldly person that you interacted with, there's no way you could serve the Most High in a contrite and humble spirit and mind, man. There's no way. Because you will walk around feeling like you that nigga 24/7. And can't no one feel like they that nigga 24/7, and really serve the Most High. Because you're gonna mix in some form of pride, some form of carnality within the truth. And that you can't help but have that spill over into wanting to bring that worldly I'm that nigga spirit to the truth I'm that nigga spirit, to the point where all these people in the world is looking at you a type of way. Now you want all these people in the truth to look at you a type of way. And you see it a lot with certain leaders. You gotta worship me. I'm such and such. You y'all trying to be like me, well, I'm trying to be like this elder. But be like yourself, man. When I hear someone say, such and such in such and such group is trying to be like me, I'm looking at them like, I mean, I respect the fact that you in the truth for such and such amount of years. I respect the fact that you doing the work of the Most High. I respect it, but it's like at the same time, I look at you kind of like, well, the Most High said you got to have a humble and contrite spirit. And if you're trying to tell someone that they should be like you, then are you even in that position to even call them shots? I would say no, but that's just my opinion. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we don't realize who we are. We don't realize 100% fully who we are yet. And that time is coming, but we need that time to marinate, for that patience, for that understanding, to get to humble ourselves enough that we can keep seeking knowledge. Because if you in your mind, if you in your mindset you think you got everything, then you wouldn't keep seeking. You wouldn't keep trying to get that living water, man. You'll be a stagnant wave, because you think you got it all. You think you got everything. So the Most High limits, us really seeing who we really are just yet. If we're the elect, it could reveal in the kingdom. Zephaniah 3, and I think what's that, 18 on down, states that explicitly. I will give you praise and fame, and in every land that you will put to shame. It's gonna come, but it can't come on this side, and that's for our benefit. That keeps us humble, that keeps us contrite, that keeps us serving the Lord, that keeps us seeking Him. And those are things that we're gonna be needing to get delivered out of Babylon, man. You ain't gonna be delivered out of Babylon thinking you that nigga. Man, the times we headed into, ain't no one gonna be that nigga, man. We all gonna be homeless, man.
You gonna be that nigga starving.
You gonna be that nigga starving, exactly. Man, we gonna be in FEMA camps. We gonna be in the wilderness. Ain't gonna be no that nigga in the wilderness, man. Man, that nigga in the wilderness gonna get killed, man. You gonna be doing stupid shit, thinking you He-Man. Next thing you know, a UN soldier done put a 9 in your head, man, because of your stupidity and pride. So I mean, we, I'm kind of going off now, but we just gotta keep and remember that humble and contrite spirit, man. That's what we need in these last days. That's what's gonna deliver us, man.
Hey, I wanna close out with this little scripture. It kind of ties in. This is Micah chapter 7, and I'm gonna start at verse 7. Therefore, I will look unto the Lord. I will wait for the God of my the God of my salvation. My power will hear me. Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light unto me. I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as a mire of the streets. So, we gotta wait on the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta be humble in this thing. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is gonna do everything for us. He's gonna take care of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Don't be like that woman that's trodden down as the mire in the streets.
Gone.
Don't be like that. Because that is going into the women. You know what I'm saying? That is going into how these women you can line it up with Isaiah the 3rd chapter, Isaiah and Isaiah the 36th chapter as well. I mean the 32nd chapter, rise up you women at ease. And you can line it up with a lot of different precepts in relation to the state of humility that women are going to be forced into these last days. But aren't we the woman to the Most High? Aren't we married unto the Father?
Mm-hmm.
Did he surname us?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that applies to just as a whole as well in regards to the nation. Don't be that woman the member of the nation of Israel that's trotting down the mire of the streets due to your pride, man. Due to you not wanting to seek the Father in all humility and sincerity, man. Because that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen to the women due to that pride. Gonna be trodden down as the mire. But that can apply to the men as well. in terms of the woman being the nation, due to the pride of men, being trodden out as the mire, man. Because the Most High, he gonna find a way to separate, man. He gonna find a way to put that dividing factor in there, to show who's really about him and who's not. It's gonna be a series of tests, man. We're gonna have to go through that furnace of adversity, like D-Ben mentioned in Sirach 2. And in going through that furnace of adversity, it's gonna be a series of tests from the Most High. It's gonna be a series of showings, from the Most High. We're gonna have to show ourselves. It's gonna be a series of tests. We're gonna have to show ourselves to be faithful. We have to show ourselves to have a Job mentality. Though he slayed me, yet will I will maintain trust in him. We have to show ourselves to have a Job mentality in these last days. You know what I'm saying? We have to show ourselves to have a Yahweh Shah mentality when Satan took him up to the mount and he tried to get him with basically having everything in the world, basically having every kingdom, every dominion of every kingdom, having everything of his heart's desires. We got to have that mentality of I ain't going with that, man.
You know what's crazy too? The thing that makes Yahweh Shai who he is, man, Yahweh Shai had the power to stop everything that was happening to him, and he did, bro. That's something nobody on earth would ever do. If you had the power to stop yourself from getting crucified, most niggas would stop that shit, of course.
Of course, yeah.
He had a mission.
And you gotta remember, it even got to the point where Christ was sweating blood because you gotta remember, he was still a human being. He had emotions. It wasn't like It wasn't like he was capping like a nigga that, nigga, I'm gonna take this bullet, nigga.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Christ was just like,
he was crying, bro. He was crying.
Light me up 100 times. I ain't flinching.
I'm bulletproof.
I ain't feel pain, nigga. No, Christ was in great pain and agony. Like, he didn't want to die, but he understood that him dying was a process to fulfill the word of the Father being prophecy. It was prophesied for him to die to redeem the nation. So he had to go through that pain, that temporary pain for everlasting rulership. Of course, it was excruciating. It was painful. It was demeaning. And he probably, at the moment, it was probably agonizing. But in his mind, he had to remind himself of all the great rewards that come with it,
Exactly.
And it's the same for us brothers in this truth. That's why Christ's death is even something that we're supposed to relate to and reflect on. In being in this condition, this vulnerable flesh that we're in, living in the society we're in with other people in power over us, with our women not really understanding how to respect us properly due to confusion and disorder. But that's partly our faults as well. It can be very painful. It can be something that it's like, damn, do I really have to go through this? But we understand according to the scriptures, yes, this is a time period where we're at our lowest. But again, the Most High is not slack concerning his promises. Whatever the Most High says he's going to do, he's going to do it. So he did promise that we will be cursed, that we would put at a low condition, that we'd be the tail, not the head. But he also said the first is going to be last. He also promised us the everlasting kingdom. He also promised that all things are going to pass away, and he'd wipe away our tears. He'd wipe away all the pain, and that all things will be new. So, and I know that that's something that I'm looking forward to, man. So all the shit that's happening now, hey, man, that's just shit. You just gotta be a soldier. You gotta toughen it out. That's why I believe it's even in Second Ezra, the 8th chapter, where the angel Uriel is using the analogy of a man who wants to inherit a kingdom. And there's fire on the right hand and water on the left hand, and he has to go through these great and basically all these travails to inherit a kingdom. That he's going to go through it to inherit the kingdom, and that's us, these brothers today. Everything that is against us and everything that's going to inhibit us from getting the kingdom, we're going to have to push through it, man. Because at the end of the day, the reward is greater than anything we could ever lose in this time period right now, man.
I just got a quick precept to back up what you said. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, and verse number 21. Be of good cheer, O my children. Cry unto the Lord, and he shall deliver you from the power and the hand of the enemies. For my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you, and joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting, our Savior. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but the Most High will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our God, which shall come unto you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come to you from the Most High, for thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck. My delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as the flock caught of his enemies. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you.
And that's a great precept. And I'll be honest, I already made my closing statements, and even that precept that closes it for me. So if y'all brothers two got anything else to say, y'all go ahead.
Hitman, you got anything?
No, I pretty much made my statements with Michael.
Con. Well, I think that's a great way to end it as well with that precept. Such a beautiful precept to end it on. But this has been what to expect in 2022 and beyond. Lord will, you brothers were edified, and we're gonna do more conversation type videos like this. We're just touching on certain topics, touching on and kind of branch, just being creative, with certain things and touching on topics from a wide array of viewpoints, from multiple different viewpoints, and relating it to understanding, knowledge, prophecy, history, and everything else in between, scriptures, current events, everything, man. Just touching on things from a wide variety and a wide array of viewpoints, man. Just trying to get the knowledge out there in any way we can, and the Lord will just edifying, like I said. But going to write it out there, and shalom to all y'all brothers, man.
Shalom and blessings.
Peace, man. Kwame Ashraf.
All praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai.
Bashem Arakah.
All
Yeah,
praise to
Hashem
Yahweh,
HaKadosh, man.
Bashem Hakwadash, man.
Yeah.